What's going on, guys? Today's podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. And if you go to manscaped.com/RBP, you can get 20% off and free shipping on their new beard kit that I'm going to show you. Check this out. So you get all this cool stuff in the beard kit. I'm going to show you each piece one by one. First of all, the most important part is you get the beard trimmer itself. Now, the cool thing is you don't get a ton of these attachments like with every other beard trimmer. You lose half of them. This one, you can set the beard trimmer length with this dial. So you just have the one guard to worry about, which is beautiful because I always lose these. So that's the first thing. Second thing is you get the beard conditioner, you get beard balm, you get a beard brush. Wonderful. And you get, let's see, beard oil. And the last thing is the beard shampoo. So you get all this. I'm going to show you on the website. If you go to the website, manscaped.com/RBP, you can go to new beard kit, click on that. It'll show you exactly what you get. You get the scissors, you get the brush, you get all this stuff in the beard kit for $139, but you save 20% plus you get free shipping. So make sure you go to manscaped.com/RBP or use code RBP at checkout to get the discount plus the free shipping. Guys, you won't regret it. This beard trimmer with the dial on here, so you don't have all the attachments. The reunion. You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
We only took 1 week off, but I've been doing this for every day, every week for fucking 3 years. So it's like felt strange to take a week off.
Yeah, feels like forever.
Ian got a haircut. Ian got a haircut. Mike got surgery. Paul, what happened to you since I last saw you?
Probably a lot. Let me reflect here for a moment.
You guys were just in Columbus.
Yeah, that's right.
Podcast in Columbus.
Yeah, I forget. He forgot. He forgot already that he was with me.
So much has happened since then.
He tries to block out the bad memory.
Are you kidding me? Paul was in heaven.
Never.
Paul was in heaven with Sam. He was like his number one fan. It's like,
the fuck are we? Chopped liver over here?
I don't know. Paul gets really. Oh, and
no, you guys are still number one.
Now I see how Paul flip-flops.
I got a great story for you guys. I was waiting for this to tell you
what
another story about Paul's easily influenced personality. So
what did I do?
We got up Sunday morning to go get coffee. He's like, I'll go with you. I go, okay. So we had to pick up a coffee for Mike, the photographer. And Sam doesn't drink coffee.
This is okay.
No,
I got to get my side of this when you're done. Okay.
So Sam doesn't drink coffee. So Mike texts us his order. He's like, get me a red eye. So I could see Paul's like brain turning ever since he wrote it. He's like, on the way to Starbucks? He's like, what's a red eye? I'm like, I don't know. Who cares? So we get to Starbucks and I'm like, I order my drink and I go to order his and he's like, can you ask her what a red eye is? Like, okay. So I ask her what a red eye is, and she's like, it's a coffee with a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
So Paul goes, okay, I'll have a red eye.
Because I order that all the time. I didn't know.
Sounds delicious. Red eye. Never. Every time we go there, he gets a coffee. He gets a coffee. You just get a coffee with 2 oat milk and 2 sugar or 2 Splenda, depending on if it's post-workout or not.
Hang on, Fouad. When we go, me and you always go to Starbucks. You don't like Tim Hortons.
No, I like Tim Hortons. I just like Starbucks better.
But I've never gone to Tim Hortons with you before. It's always Starbucks.
Yeah. So,
but when I go to Tim Hortons, I do ask for a shot of espresso in my coffee frequently.
It's not
frequently.
Is it espresso or espresso?
There's no X in espresso.
Sorry, espresso. Yeah, I know. It's a slang.
Espresso Parkway.
Espresso.
You're Italian. You're supposed to know that.
Shoulder, Mike.
Wait. Can we not let's not gloss over this. So, Mike, would you agree with me that that's easily influenced behavior?
Well, I think it's just curious. I don't know if he's
Very
I think he's
curious.
just- yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Mike gets me. Mike understands me.
No, I already know that part. You are very curious. But what's crazy to me is by 50,
I'm the same
in
way.
all
Though.
honesty,
If someone ordered something weird that I've never heard of, or like
well,
or pulled out a bag
sounds
of drugs I'd never
Yeah.
tried, I'd be like, yeah, I'll try it.
well, that yeah. I just figured by 51, by 51 years old, you would kind of know what your coffee drink is.
I'm always evolving through it.
And constantly,
I'm never static.
I made the
Never
mistake.
static.
I made the mistake of ordering the Starbucks coffee it's a chocolate cold foam or something. Have you seen that one?
no.
Yeah, there's
No.
like a
What does it
chocolate
have, hot
like,
chocolate or
coffee
something?
one. No,
Is
it's
it
like it's an ice drink, but it's like coffee infused or chocolate infused coffee, whatever.
Mhm.
I made a mistake ordering that, and I was like, I'm never veering off my path again.
It was
What a
horrible.
waste of a fucking drink. Holy
See?
fuck, it's bad.
This is
Really?
what I mean.
That
This is what I
sucks.
mean. Anytime I do get curious and I want to try something new, it sucks. So I always just go back.
Well-
I always just stick to what I know.
The problem was there, Mike, you went with chocolate. If they would have had a vanilla alternative.
Yeah.
probably
No,
would've
but I
been
normally get a vanilla sweet cream cold brew. That's what I get every day. But I was like,
Okay.
oh fuck, I like chocolate. And then obviously I thought about how gay I was for ordering chocolate. So I was like, yeah, I'll order that.
Yeah. Was it
I was like, no wonder they don't like chocolate.
Am I the only chocolate guy here? Fuck you guys.
Oh, I love chocolate.
Okay, then fuck.
Just
like
not
it.
with coffee.
Yeah.
This is
I
the thing
can't-
I'm
I
supposed to
can't-
be using.
I can't get anything in my.
Distract you guys.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what what's going on with your shoulder? And why are you not
Feels
using
good.
that thing?
No, because I'm sitting
Moving around
down, so I
pretty
don't
good.
really. Yeah, I'm sitting down, so I don't need to like. As long as my arm's in the position it kind of is with the sling.
Yeah.
I can't move it certain ways even if I want to. So
Yeah.
I'm not stopping myself
Right.
by doing anything. It's not like you can be like, hey,
How is the pain and everything is subsided? Like swelling?
yeah, I don't have any pain. I just have like I'm sure you guys you've all had surgeries where you get like that's like really deep internal stuff. Like it fires all of a sudden. You're like, what the fuck? And it's like,
Yeah.
like the other day my shoulder like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
little deep little twinges like that and stuff kind of waking up or you firing. It's kind of weird.
You know, I
Does the
just,
sling bother you?
Oh no, it's not that bad because it doesn't go over my shoulder, so it's not yanking on me. It just holds me across.
Oh.
It's supposed to go across here too to help stop me from like going like that, but I literally
Oh.
can't do that right now. So
Okay.
I'm like, fucking, it's burning my arm. I'm like, fuck, take this thing off.
I just
It's
thought of
modifying
because you're talking about having a deep twinge. I just thought of when I had my tricep surgery. It was like 2 or 3 weeks after, I think, and it was so still like the real like healing process. And I remember going up the stairs. You know, sometimes you'll clip your toe on the stair and you fall
you go to
forward.
grab.
Yeah. So I clipped my toe on the stairs and I fell onto the landing, and I braced myself with the arm I had surgery on.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I felt it fucking deep in my elbow shoot up my arm. And I'm like, did I just tear my tricep again? And I never ever got it checked after. And I'm like, I wonder if that's why it's so fucked up now, or if it actually was just bad surgery.
Hmm.
But I know that feeling like deep that you're talking about. I know this.
I was walking on the treadmill and like, you know, you just like prop your phone on the little like ledge thing.
Mhm.
And I like clipped it and I dropped my phone. And my first instinct was to like reach with this arm. I was like, but I had this thing on. I was like, oh, like, thank God. Because I would have fucking went for it. But
So the surgery was in and out same day?
yeah, I was supposed to, they got a room for overnight, but after the surgery, he came and talked to me. He's like, you know, if you want to go and you're feeling good, your pain's manageable, I think you can go. And I don't want to spend more time in a hospital than I have to because I just don't like the room was like they were doing hot yoga. Like I was fucking sweating my ass off in there. I'm like,
did you have your fan?
no, I did, but it was like barely penetrating because of the fucking dense fog in the room of fucking heat. I'm like, it probably didn't help that I ate like 24 Krispy Kremes. And I'm on morphine. I'm like, oh.
You know, I had a Krispy Kreme this weekend. I forgot how easy they are to eat.
Yeah.
They're amazing. You can,
They're very
you can,
light.
like 2-3 bite them.
You could
Yeah.
crush 24s like no problem.
Yeah, like I could eat 30 of those. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would put my money on you for that.
I would put my money on you too. I don't think that's hard.
Fine, 60 then. Okay.
Okay. I'll take that bet.
How many calories is that? It's got to be fucking crazy.
We'll look it up later. So you went home that night, and then any instructions, or you just like told you just fucking lay up? Because you said you went back to the gym to work, or not to work, but to train like the other side of your body and shit.
Yeah, I went to the gym I got home I was back in the gym on Sunday.
Oh,
And
your
then,
surgery was
I went-
Thursday.
Yeah. Or I was back in the gym on Saturday.
2 days.
I went and did cardio at Cat's gym, kind of near closer to my house, because
Yeah.
there's pretty far drive for doing fucking cardio. It's like, I'm not doing that. But then that was a whole other obstacle to overcome. I live with my mom, obviously, and she fucking was being a mother and was freaking out that I was driving.
One arm.
I was like, I drive with this arm anyway.
I have one arm
don't
anyway.
use this
Yeah.
fucking arm. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, I'm cool. I'm even better than I was before. I came home, she's like staring at me. I'm like, what? She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck?
I remember when I had the surgery on this arm and I had it in the sling, and I had a standard car at the time. So I'm trying to
fuck.
right-hand
no.
drive while shifting the fucking, like that was that didn't work out very well.
That happened when I tore my lat. That was a bitch. I was in my Corvette and I tore this lat. So I'm like trying to shit, and it was fucking excruciating pain.
Yeah.
So I'm driving with this hand and I'm trying to shift, but I don't want to extend my arm.
Yeah.
So I'm like shifting like this, like just like leaning into it. I'm like,
Yeah, I would just hold the steering wheel, and then I'd kind of like brace the steering wheel with my knee for a second, hit the clutch and shift, and then grab it.
let me ask
Super
you,
sick.
I'm probably going to get roasted for this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you ever shifted and driven with the left hand only when not for any surgery reason? Like
You're drinking a coffee.
like driving, shift, driving, shift.
Oh
Driving.
man, that'd be have to be a small car.
I'm too big for that, bro. I'm not skinny like for you, where I can reach across.
I was 300. I was
Muscle here in the way.
no, I was 300 pounds when I was doing that shit. Don't fucking tell
There
me.
you were.
What were you doing with the other hand?
This is the roasting part. I was holding my wife's hand.
Oh.
Okay, I think I probably like put the car in like reverse or like done it before where I've just reached across, but I don't think
Yeah.
I've standard car where I've done that.
Well, it was a new relationship, and we were holding hands, and I was like, do
I love you so much.
Do I let her hand go? Yeah, I love you, Schmoopy.
I
don't
love
wanna
you
let
so
go.
much. I can't let go of your hand.
Snoopy.
Yeah, so I was like driving, and I'm like shifting with this hand and just driving.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
Uh,
Anyway,
Young and in love.
young and in
I
love.
can't stand holding hands.
Your
just
hands get
not-
sweaty.
It's like
my,
there was like the first week of our fucking relationship. Take it easy.
That's all I think about the whole time. Is like, when can I let go? When can I
you know what?
When's
my
it
wife-
appropriate? Oh, I got to grab for that. Oh.
I'm only a couple inches taller than my wife, so when I hold hands with her, I got to have my arm up like this, kind of. I hate it. It's so uncomfortable.
you have long fucking arms too.
I got long forearms.
Yeah. Well, whatever. It's the bicep or the forearm. I don't care. It's the fucking arm.
That's
My
a
biceps
fine.
are short.
I don't
My
wanna-
biceps.
No, the bicep muscle is short, but your arm
Yeah.
from your shoulder to your hand is long.
No, I'll show you next time, Fouad. You probably never noticed.
All right, we gotta
from
measure
my
Show us
elbow to
now.
my
We can
wrist.
still we can see it right now, dude. You're not the fucking.
You look how long that is. And this part, how short it is.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right.
It's
Yeah, he is right.
it's asymmetric.
Why do you have
It's not
such long
symmetrical.
forearms?
I don't know. Well, remember Nate Epler's called me gangly. Said I had gangly arms.
Yeah, that one's gonna stick with you for a while. I
Yeah.
remember that one really hurt your feelings.
That one did hurt a little bit.
All right, holding hands. What's the protocol? I don't really hold hands anymore, and if I do, like Mike said, it's very like it's fast.
My wife likes to.
How long do you hold hands for, Paul?
As short as possible, but she likes to do it.
Sometimes in public, I get it because you kind of like pull on the line, like let's fucking get moving.
That's
Be
different.
like a crowd or something.
That's not the same thing.
That's pulling
Like, here,
somebody.
take a hand. We're gonna move through this fucker.
That's not the same thing.
Like just like walking down the street,
Okay.
like swinging arms.
Paul, I need a scenario. What scenario are you holding hands in the mall?
Anywhere. She likes to hold hands.
So like you're walking through the mall, you start holding hands. How long? Like
Usually what I'll do is I'll find an area where we have to break the hand hold. Like we have to go walk through something or something,
Oh,
around
yeah.
something, and then it doesn't work. I'll have to break the hold.
you literally plan like somebody's walking towards you. You're like going
Well,
like
like-
this.
Like, well, I'll go to an area where we have to kind of squeeze through. So I'll let her go first, and then I got to break the hand hold, and I'll push her through.
An itch is good too. Be like, oh, hold on a minute.
yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Ian, do you have a handhold time? I can't see
no,
Melissa being handholder.
No, I mean, like, yeah, we're not really hand holders. If we're walking like somewhere, like say we would, it would be more like maybe she would like link on my arm or something, but we wouldn't hold hands.
I don't mind the arm link.
Yeah,
I
would-
like
I might
the
put
arm
my
link.
hand in my pocket and she would
Yeah.
just like hold
Yeah.
on to
Yep.
my arm.
Yeah.
That's old school.
But, like I got fucking fat sausage fingers, man. You try to like put someone's fingers in there, it feels all weird, like it's tight, you know. Like I don't like that shit.
So you could hold your pinky like my kids
No.
used to do when
Yeah,
they were
it's just
small.
like weird. It just like doesn't fit well. It's just like
Yeah.
No,
you know?
I don't do that whole hand. I do like the like clasp like this.
Like a
I
side
don't do-
tricep?
I don't do this.
Like a side-
It's like a
side
side
tricep.
tricep.
Always in the pose.
Yeah.
Um,
Make sure you flex your tricep too.
Pull my hand down like this, babe.
Yeah.
While we're walking. Hold on to me from behind.
no, the hoodie on with the hands in the pockets and the arm linked is
yeah, that's
the perfect. I can do
that's
that.
standard. That's what we do usually. Like if we're walking somewhere like through a mall or something, I put my hand in my pocket or something, she'll like link arms, but that's like really maybe in the car, like if it was in the car, I might put my hand on like our lap or like on her hand,
Yeah.
but we won't like hold hands. No.
So I've put my hand on her lap, ends up in a hold hand, and then I take my hand away because my hand's sweaty.
Yeah.
So now she doesn't. Now I put my hand on her lap. She knows not to grab my hand.
Yeah.
There's a big sweat handprint there when you take your hand off.
No, because it's only this. It only gets sweaty when you hold hands.
Yeah, not if you just have it on her lap.
It's not sweaty for no reason. It's
Well, I mean, if you have it on her lap though.
no, because no,
My hand's
it's
like
just-
getting sweaty just sitting on the lap. No.
Be funny
No,
if it was though. You got a big handprint on her pants.
Anyways, so Mike, back in the gym, just for people watching, I know you told me this earlier, but are you back in the gym because you're stir crazy and you need to get out of the house, or are you back in the gym because you think it'll help recovery? Like, what is the thought process?
No, I mean, I was talking about this with my girl today. Like, I really like being at the gym. So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you get back in your routine and doing the things that you do, and even if they're kind of altered a bit, obviously, it's still like you're still in this. Life keeps moving, right? I don't want to just sit around and be like, whatever. And if I can move, I'm going to move. And if I can train, like, because you guys know, like, if you can train one side of the body, like 25% or whatever is crossing over neurologically, right? So it's like, if I can start stimulating things firing over there and make my recovery even better and try to not get fat as fuck when I'm eating 20 donuts a day, then I go to the gym.
This is just a thought process. Sorry, it's just my own thought process. But I always thought, for me, when I was doing it, I didn't know about the neurological pathways. I was thinking of it more in terms of if I'm moving blood around, like if there's fresh blood getting to the
that's why I feel like the
body.
swelling goes down easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I always knew there was a crossover. I didn't know till literally recently, like, what that percentage was, and that's probably even wrong. But to know that system happens, your body's not recognizing that you're just training your left. It's understanding that you're probably training your right too. So it's sending the same pathways. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages about injury stuff because I've had so many.
Yeah.
And what you just said is exactly kind of the advice I tell people is like, you have to, if you sit at home and wait for your injury to heal, you're going to go fucking nuts, and it's going to be depressing, and it's going to set you back. It's going to take longer to heal. So I always tell people,
It's
like,
just not the right thing to do. Like, I mean, even we get tons of messages with guys who have done the same, like, arm wrestling break as me.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, I did it 2 years ago and it still hurts and I can't, you know, I'm like, just start training on it. Like, you know, the bone is healed. What you're feeling is just pain because you're not putting any weight bearing like exercise on it. I'm like, look, it hurt like shit when I started training. Like, the bone is, you know, not acclimated to that load. It's like, there's shit going on there with nerves and stuff. I'm like, just get in there and do it. But if you're trying to wait for it to feel better, it never will.
Yeah,
and that's like everyone that I've talked to, that's like, I'm just waiting for it to feel better because I try and train, it hurts. It never does get any better. So it's like, you just need to get in there and force it to feel better, you know?
This injury's been better for me too, because I had the last one, that was my hip replacement, and that was like a real inconvenience. It's like, I can't fucking move, right? Like, crutches. So I'm like, fuck, I'm not in crutches now, and I'm like fully functional except for like one part of my body. I'm like, I've been doing like an hour of cardio a day, and then at night I go for like 40-minute walks with my girl and just fucking
stay active,
get my fucking heart moving,
yeah,
everything blood pumping.
And Mike, you're right hand dominant, I take it, eh?
Yeah, but I got pretty good. Like, the only thing that's been difficult for me, honestly, is eating was weird at first.
Yeah,
wiping your ass is fucking terrible.
Yeah, how about showering? You find showering?
I didn't. Yeah, it's not really, because now that the first few days my shoulder was like not mobile, like even bending over would like hurt. Now it's like more pliable, so it's like I can move out of the way and do shit. It doesn't
Does
bother
it feel
me.
weird though, using your other hand to like do all that stuff? I know for me it did for a while.
No, because I've been a little more dominant with my left for a while now because
Oh,
of
okay.
the issue with my shoulder. Plus, when you I boxed for a long time, and you become really like proficient with your left hand when you box because you use it so often.
Okay.
Whereas like I never used my left in my life till like even when I remember when I first threw a jab for the first time, I was like, I mean, like
Yeah.
throwing your left hand to punch is like the weirdest thing. But now it's like if I was to spar or train, I would use my left in a session more than I would use my right.
The other question I get a lot from people is not just how to work around the injury or stay busy, but what about the confidence? And you're probably not going to feel this as much because you don't train heavy like you used to, but people always ask me about the confidence because I'm touching on what Iain was talking about because the pain. A lot of people don't have the confidence to get back to training, even when they're fully healed. They just feel nervous, about lifting. So, what advice do you have for that?
When I did my hip, when I did my first hip surgery resurfacing, I came back and then I was training for years after, and I went like pretty heavy again, and I think that's what fucked my hip up again. So it's like
Okay.
I just people need to understand, especially if we have like massive implants or like complete restructuring or replacements of joints. You have to understand that joint is not real. Like it's not as effective as your body's actual joint. So you might want to like alter maybe depth ranges or like tension points or just something that still allows you to move maximal load that you feel like you're trying hard and you're doing well, but like understand maybe you don't have to work on that deep of an angle on something maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I noticed when I was doing like leg presses and stuff when I had my fake hip before I had this replacement, I would get just as much depth or more than I had been getting my whole life. And I could relax in depth and like sit down, come up, whatever. But I realized over time, even though I'm not feeling it, I'm grinding down that fake joint.
Putting the stress on it. Yeah.
But now that I've had my hip, I'm really conscious of like understanding more like knee flexion on leg movements than actual like dropping into the depth of my hip, like the pit of my hip.
Yeah.
So.
Ian, what were you going to say for getting back at it?
Yeah, well, just people need to understand, like, obviously, once there is an injury like that, there is somewhat of a reason to be a little hesitant with it. I mean, something is compromised, like if you tear a muscle and you go to train after, like there is a good chance or a heightened chance of re-injuring or re-tearing or something like that. So, obviously you do need to train with some caution. Form is going to be, even more so important, but I think you just need to really work in a very like progressive manner with the weights and go very carefully with it. Like you can't just expect to get back in there and start slamming the same weights. You need to kind of test it and go slow, but to expect to, like if you tear a pec and to want to be like, hey, I want to get back to bench pressing 500 pounds might not be the best idea. Just try and, alter your training, get, stimulation through different ways. Like Mike said, instead of focusing on like his hip depth and his hip, flexion, he was focusing more on knee flexion, just like focus on things that are different, but still getting good stimulation to the muscle, right?
Would you say, maybe I'm stubborn, but I kind of have a little bit of a different feeling about it. So I agree with Mike when it comes to like joint replacement.
Yeah.
But when it comes to soft tissue injury, like muscle tear or tendon tear, if you've had a tendon reattached, I've talked to some surgeons who are like, this is reattached. It's fucking literally bolted to your forearm.
It's stronger than ever.
The tendon is just as strong as it was when it was attached.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I mean, there definitely is
after the healing process
with people that have.
Well, wait, just let me clarify.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about within the 8 weeks or 12. I'm talking about because I've had emails from people who are like a year after their injury and they're still scared to lift heavy
after full reattachment.
I'm talking about fully recovered down the road. You've been training, but you still have like Paul. You have this mental block a little bit with your chest.
Well, because I couldn't repair mine though. So
no, but I mean, even though it's fully healed and you can probably stretch it, you're still kind of scared to stretch it, so it doesn't. You don't re-injure it, so you still kind of have that mental block, right?
Yeah, and it was way harder a long time ago too.
Right. So this
I've
is kind of
what I'm.
You don't think that there is a correlation with people that have torn a muscle having second tears in that same area? Like I've seen guys that torn a bicep and then re-tear it again a year later, 2 years later.
Right here, this guy.
Wait.
This one's not on, man.
You do need to be careful because I think there is a higher propensity to re-tear a muscle, even if it is healed.
I need to clarify. I believe that it depends on the muscle. Like I've pretty much torn everything at some point. I've had surgeons look at my hamstring, for example, and say, "Look, we can reattach this, but there's a really high probability that's going to tear again because hamstring tears are notorious for re-tearing.
Yes.
It's the nature of it.
But then when I tore my tricep, the surgeon was the opposite. He's like, look, your tendons are really strong. It's literally bolted to your forearm. Like, you're good to go. Once it's healed, you're good to go.
Okay.
So I feel like it might
Specific.
I feel like it might not be the same answer for everything.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think if it's a joint or something like a shoulder.
Well, I totally agree with you guys on the joint replacement. That's, I think, goes without saying. Yeah.
But even I have a torn labrum in my shoulder, like getting that reattached, like the doctor was pretty specific. He was like, you don't have a lot of cartilage left in there. He's like, if you keep lifting heavy, you're gonna need a replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I do agree with 100% is what Iain said about form. And Mike said about form, about having to, I don't know about depth or not depth. I just mean like, so if you look back at my training when I was younger, it was pretty sloppy. So through injury, I've had to change that, where like my rep speed is probably still faster than most guys, but it's not sloppy anymore. And my descent is more controlled. And I think that's from having injuries. So your form definitely has to change once something is compromised.
I agree.
So I agree with that. So Mike, you're on your way back to healing. How long before you can take the sling off and like train? Like, what did they say? 8 weeks?
I didn't, to be honest, he was a awesome guy, but he was very like ambiguous about what I should be doing. He was like, yeah, man, I'm feeling good. You know, I'm like,
they don't tell you much,
no, well, I mean, I'm going back to see him on the 8th. He basically said, like, you know, do the exercises that are they give you a brochure and stuff. It's just like kind of like hanging pendulums, like passive movement, and then like a little bit of rotation. Just can't like open this way because they cut your subscap and then they reattach it, right? So that's why I'm limited in range right now. It's not because of like my shoulder isn't stable. That subscap needs to heal back down and like set. As if I move it too soon, it'll.
You said they
compromise.
You said they cut the bicep as well.
Yeah, because your bicep attaches way up here, like in your shoulder, so they just move it down to like he did 2 spots for me. He did. Someone will know better than me. I was fucking high when he told me, but it was like the head of my like the very tip of my humerus where there is bone now. And there's another piece attached like somewhere else along my clavicle area.
So are you gonna have the same function in your bicep when it's done, or is it gonna be?
Yeah, he said like aesthetically you won't notice any visual change to it. He's like, it might feel a little bit shorter, just like the range of motion we might be able to contraction a little quicker because the distance isn't as great.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was one of the major problems with my arm. It was that my bicep on the right side had atrophied so much because I had no mobility to open my arm, and it like literally was like atrophying away. So I'm just happy it works again, so I'll be happy with little baby bicep.
Speaking of getting high, Paul, I got so fucked up last night.
Smoke weed?
I don't know how that's my fault.
So
Paul decided you smoke weed with us all weekend when we were there. Were you smoke weed with Paul last night?
This was totally an accident.
How the fuck is it?
It didn't look like an accident when you put it in the chat. What's this? How do I take this? A fucking weed pen, man.
Hey, listen, no. But this is the thing. So Paul wanted to stop at a dispensary on our road trip on the weekend. So we stopped at a dispensary.
You Zins?
What?
Yes,
I did. I got your Zins. Yeah. So we stop at a dispensary, and while I'm there, my nephew is like an agriculture fucking major, and he's like more into weed than anybody I know, like more than Paul, more than everybody.
Oh, maybe Wimmer, me. He knows what he's talking about.
And he's like, you should try. I told him I don't like to get high, and he's like, you should try CBG. There's CBN, which apparently he said was good for sleep, I think.
Yeah.
And he said there was CBG, which is supposed to be like a euphoric feeling, but without the high. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, that sounds cool. I'm like, if it makes me feel like, you know, uplifting or mood lifting or whatever, that's cool. I'll try that.
Just good.
So we get there, and I asked the girl about it. I'm like, hey, do you know what CBG is? She goes, oh, yeah, we have some. So she gives it to me. She's like, this is the lowest amount of THC. She said something like there had to be some THC in there, but it was like the lowest amount you could get in a pen.
Yeah.
Do you know how much there was or no?
It was like 1.6 or 1.8 or something like that.
Well, I wish I still had the box. I think they were lying. They're fucking.
I feel like no matter what they do, you get fucked up. Or like, oh, this is for this and this. Like every time I do it, I'm fucked, no matter what it is. Like,
Listen, so Summer was like just feeling anxious. She had a lot of work to do. She's like, I need to relax. I'm like, hey, I got this CBG pen. It's supposed to like just make you feel good. She's like, is it gonna get me high? I'm like, no, it's supposed to just like make you feel good. So I give it to her and she smokes it. And then I'm like, I'll do it with you. So I smoke it too. And we're both sitting there and like literally like it must have been like 3 minutes later. We both look at each other. We're like, holy fuck. And we were like, she's like, I feel like I'm floating. I'm like, my head feels like mush. We were just like, we just start fucking, both of us start pissing ourselves, howling. We were laughing, literally laughing, like gut laughing for, it felt like half an hour of just laughing. And then we finally like calmed down. We were like, it was so fucking crazy. I've never seen her laugh that hard. It made me so happy to see her just like,
Yeah.
were you like fucked up, or just like happy as shit?
no, I was fucked up. Like
that's what I mean. Like, what do they?
At one point,
mean you're not fucked up from it?
At one point,
is it feeling euphoric being high?
Dude, at one point, I was like, I think I'm melting into the couch. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But we had a fucking great time. So today I was like, hey, you want to hit that pen again today? So,
you know what I think it is? Because I think that stuff gives you more of a body buzz.
That's
so
what
it's
it felt
supposed to
like.
just, yeah. So, you know,
but my head was fucked too. Like,
it was,
yeah, because she would say something and I would try and explain to her. And then she'd look at me and she'd go, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, are you trying to trip me out? Like, I thought we were having a conversation. She's like, no, you're just talking. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, you know that pen that I bought there?
Yeah.
I bought that resin pen there.
Yeah.
Well, my wife sometimes takes like just a 5 milligram gummy sometimes to sleep if she's a little bit stressed out. So
Yeah.
she didn't have any last night. So I was like, well, try this pen if you want. But I didn't tell her to take a small drag on it. She took a big drag on it. First, she coughed for about 30 minutes straight. And then when that was done, she was almost having like a panic attack.
Yeah.
So
you know what's funny, Paul? I thought about what you said. So I felt the high coming on, and immediately my first thought was, oh fuck, I don't want to be high, and this is not going to go away now for a while. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then I remembered you somehow popped up in my head, and you were like, like, all I could hear you say is, stop trying to stop it, just go with it.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it. And I was like, ah.
All right, Texas, like, just watch a movie and order some food, you'll be fine.
Well, she kept fucking tripping me out. If I was by myself, I would have been in heaven. I was like, because I was fucked. But she kept tripping me out. She's like, my tongue feels like sandpaper, and she's going like. Anyway, she fucking needed it, so it was a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think if I can maybe take a little less, it would be perfect.
Yeah, well, just have to gauge like how big of a a haul you take on it. Yeah.
Start gauge it for a couple minutes, take another small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe I'm gonna become a stoner.
You found your thing, CBG.
Anyway, so yeah, we all got together, and Paul got us all high.
Hey.
For those of you,
which is a common theme.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I don't know if any of you watched our stories, but the four of us got together at my house for our show, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And we had a fucking really good time.
Yeah.
And Paul held us all down and made us take mushrooms.
A lot of mushrooms. Wasn't just me.
I was holding who down, but
yeah.
I was with Fouad after you guys left, and it definitely wasn't just you, Paul.
I know. I heard the stories after about when we left. There was more mushrooms eaten that night than. Jeez.
Well, how much of this can we tell, Ian? It's not bad, right?
I mean, I don't care. You can tell everything. It's up to you. It's your podcast.
So we started taking a little bit of mushrooms, and we were like laughing our ass off, and I was super fucked.
Yeah, we like a half gram every like 30, 40 minutes.
There was a point at dinner. I know I was talking gibberish.
Yeah. You were.
It was like,
and then you were looking over your wife. You were like looking over your wife and like doing this like awkward wink at her, like every.
Oh, I remember that
now. It just kept giving me stems and making me take it. Like, no, stop.
You're like,
I'm just gonna leave it here, and they're looking at it like, come on. Holy fuck, bro.
I remember that now. You and Melissa were ripping on me because I'd look over at Summer.
Yeah.
And I go like, Because she knows it means I want some. So I think Ian caught me or something like that, and I
was like, Melissa, watch this fucking
I,
idiot.
I saw him go like this to Melissa.
I was like, yo, watch this fucking guy.
Melissa looks over and she's like, "You look like a creeper," and I'm like,
I knew you were high, Fouad. We went outside at one point, and normally, like in those situations, you're full of energy, you're whatever. But you just had your hands in your pocket, you were slouched down, you're like, "Hey guys," I was like, "You're high right now."
I've never. We remember when we went to the store there, and to get drinks,
and
then we tried to race back. You were.
Oh man, that was the slowest race I've ever seen in my life.
I couldn't run. I was like trying to run. I felt like it was 1,000 pounds.
I totally beat Mr. Trackstar in a race.
You beat me 100%. He beat me.
I beat Ian that night.
Yeah,
and I was running in dress shoes.
I was running like 4 miles an hour.
You guys looked like you were like running like Usain Bolt, but really you weren't even moving. No, there was so much effort for such little distance moved.
I felt like I was dragging like a 200-pound boat anchor behind me.
I remember finally catching up to you guys, and Melissa was like, "I think I could beat Fouad in a race." I'm like,
"Yeah,
probably." Holy fuck. Anyway, it was a really good time. It was nice to actually like get to spend fucking real time together instead of just podcast time, but like, eat together, fucking hang out, all that shit. It was good. The show went well.
Yeah, it was a nice weekend.
So it was a good weekend. But
the kid who won looked good.
The kid who won our show.
Long guy. Yeah.
What kid? Who won our show again? I thought it was wasn't he? Didn't he have a shaved head? Was he tall? Was he taller?
He was like a blonde dude.
Taller.
Yeah, he came in the change room after we were talking to him.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, he did look really good. He did look good. I don't know if he was natural, but he looked good.
I was gonna say,
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Anyway, so now we got to get together again. What are we doing? We're doing a cottage or what?
Yep.
I got some time off in August.
I got some time off in August.
Yeah.
I have some time off all the time.
Yeah. Well, I do too, but I was trying to make it sound like I'm busy.
Yeah.
My time off is late August though, like the second half of the month.
Yeah, that's better anyway. I was thinking like the third week. We still got to wait for Mike. Mike, when do you go for your checkup to see if you're allowed to do anything?
On the 8th.
So you're going to go on the 8th, and
Thursday, I think.
They'll tell you what?
Just tell me like what kind of restrictions I have. If I still have to have this sling on and doing this and that. I don't think there'll be many restrictions. Just at that point, just get moving and stuff.
So are we leaning towards going or what?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, if it's later in the month, I'll go.
Because I think Melissa and Summer talked yesterday or something, and Melissa sounded excited about it.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we'll plan something for like the third week then.
Cool.
That would work for me, the third week.
All right. Cottage or resort?
Ooh.
That house you showed me in the Muskokas looked pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. If we could get a cottage like on the lake, there'd be a lot of cool shit to do.
Yeah.
We could fucking rent jet skis or something, or do something like that.
Yeah, bring some shit like that. Yeah.
Anyway, bodybuilding. What's going on? Roman won a show this weekend. Roman is going to his first Olympia.
We haven't even talked to the Chicago Pro yet.
Justin, yeah, I was going to say Justin won a show last weekend. Yeah. He's going to his first Olympia in his first year.
There was classic physique weight changes announced today too.
Yeah, big changes.
It's been a busy week in bodybuilding. So let's start with the Chicago Pro.
Yeah.
So what were your guys' thoughts? Because we were sitting talking together about the show. So but that wasn't like we hadn't really had a chance to digest all the photos and everything. So after seeing everything after the fact, what did you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, Justin looked good. I mean, it was a close show in that top three. I mean, there was such different looks between those three guys, John a little shorter, a little more compact, Justin a little taller than John with really nice shape, and then Stan obviously a little lighter muscle, but just fucking peeled out of his goddamn mind. But a little more gaps in his physique. So, I don't think it was a bad call at all. I mean, Justin, he knows what he needs to improve, obviously, and he's said it. I mean, his back definitely needs to come up. And he was saying that, his freshest muscle is kind of what he thinks he lost as he pushed down, and that was his back. So, that's obviously going to be a point of something he's going to want to work on going forward. But no, it was a good show. John's going to be doing Tampa this week too.
Sorry, guys.
Right?
Oh, is he? Good.
I'll be back. One second.
Yeah.
That's good. He should be sharper
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think John will get better as he goes.
I think so
You
too.
know, that's his first show in what, 5 years or so. It's it's probably gonna take a couple shows to get his
Three,
conditioning.
3 or 4 years. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, no, good.
Tampa and Texas are gonna be great shows.
Well, the Tampa lineup is I
Wait,
hate this,
wait,
but
wait,
it's
wait.
definitely a small lineup. What?
Sorry, guys. Let's go back. Go back.
Oh.
I don't want to skip over Chicago.
Oh, we're not. We're just
Yeah. No, I know. So John's doing Tampa, but let's go back. So, Ian, you think his back and his conditioning wasn't the same as the Nationals either, or USA's?
Well, his conditioning needed to definitely for the Olympia. He'll obviously want to improve that a little bit. I think from the front, his conditioning was good. I think they probably pushed the fullness pretty hard to really just get a little more pop to him. And I think where he lost like a little bit of dryness was just more on the back shots, where it was a little less mature muscle in the back, lower back, like lower lats, stuff like that. His glutes could be a little tighter, but it's also tough when it's a guy that's kind of doing that hip pop. He's not like flexing his glute; he's kind of popping them back. So I'm always hesitant to say how lean or not lean someone's glutes are when they're posing like that, because if you squeeze it in, they could just be fucking.
I really don't know why this has become a trend. I just don't think there's only a few guys that can pull it off. I don't think it's because I know. Listen, I'll tell you this, Hunter. I was getting pictures of Hunter from Ben all throughout his prep. And he was doing the hip hop thing in the back and pushing his glutes outwards. And I'm like, Ben, that just does not look as good. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not a fan of it, but I just don't think it works for everybody. I think
really pull it off well are like Regan, Lucas Osladil, like certain guys like that.
Well, the other thing is Justin's got big enough hamstrings that he could have kept his glutes tighter.
Yeah, I haven't seen what he looks like flexing them in that I can recall, so I'm not 100% sure to comment on it. Well, yeah, I mean, improve the conditioning from the little, the back shots are what need to improve. The back conditioning and the back mass and thickness more than width, for sure. But yeah.
So the big story, other than Justin winning, is John's comeback, and we all thought he looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I did think after prejudging that John could have or was going to win the show. I mean, it was definitely possible. He looked really good. He definitely won some shots. Justin was winning the front shots. I had John on the side and some of the back shots. Justin on the most muscular. So it was a toss up in shots for sure. But no, he looked really good. I mean, he was, a good chunk of the John of old. I mean, it was like not a whole lot missing from where he's been at some of his best showings. I would be, it's a guess, but I would say he's probably a little lighter than he's probably competed at. How much, I don't really know, but his back shots look awesome. His legs look good. His conditioning overall was pretty good. It can improve a little bit, which I think it probably will for Tampa, a little more time being lean, but he looked great. I mean, that was, and you could just tell he was having a fucking awesome time being up there,
So my view of the show was, I think they picked a winner based on overall package, which is what they always do. But if you go,
what they should do.
I know a lot of people think like it's shot for shot with poses. And when I went shot for shot, I gave John the side and back shots.
Yes.
So it would have meant that, John pulled it out. But because Justin's got such good shape, I don't think, I think because John wasn't 100% crisp, he wasn't able to overcome the shape.
Yeah, I think had John
been
sharper, then maybe.
Yeah, but I think had John been 100% sharp, it might have been able to overcome the shape discrepancy.
Yeah.
And I also go back to, because I know a lot of people online gave the show to John. I saw a lot of comments that were like, John should have won. All I will say is we have to be consistent in that pictures don't tell the whole story. Because I remember I did see a couple shots of Justin on like an iPhone or I don't know what the fuck camera it was. It was a different camera and he looked better.
Yeah.
I saw pictures too. I saw like pictures afterwards, conditioned like compared to what we were watching on the live stream was like,
it's different.
Like, fuck, you look like a different dude. Like,
So I always have to be careful. Like, we stay consistent when we tell people like, it's not always what you're seeing, because I remember like I saw those couple other shots and I was like, wait a minute. I think that might've just changed my opinion, because his condition looked the same as John's, if not better. And he had better shape. So even though John had better muscularity and maybe was more complete muscle wise, because of the shape and the conditioning on John not being there, I think that's how Justin pulled it out.
Yeah.
But going into the Olympia, he's going to have to make some really dramatic changes. Personally, if I was advising, and I'm going to speak out both sides of my mouth right now because I always say you should go to every Olympia that you qualify for. But if I was advising, I would tell Justin to wait till next year
He'll have more.
because I think with another year of mass, if you include the shape in another year of mass, he'll definitely make an impact at the Olympia, where I feel like this year it might be a little bit tougher.
I tend to agree with that sentiment, and I said this on the last one. In this opinion, what I would do is I would just do this Olympia, get your feet wet, and then I would take next season off. So I would just do this one. I would take next season off, use that entire year to do one more year of growth, then do an early show in 25 or a late show in 24 at the end of the season to qualify you for the next year's Olympia.
Oh, so you're saying you should take the entire year off next year, except for like a show at the end of the year?
Yeah, like do this.
Oh yeah,
and then have like a 10, 12 month period after that.
But then he's gonna miss. But then he's gonna miss the next Olympia. So it's the same thing.
Sure, but it's like you're already qualified for this one, so just do it. You're not.
Yeah, but wait a minute. So I don't think you're wrong, because I don't think there is a wrong. It's whatever he wants to do. But
sure.
What I would say is, if I was gonna take one off anyway, I would want my first time at the Olympia to be more impactful than less impactful.
I agree with you, but the thing is, he already went through the trials and tribulations of prepping and winning the show. Whereas if he goes and does this Olympia, he's like getting a bit of experience from that, and then he's not qualified for the 24 Olympia. Now you can take the time. So it's not like this prep and this winning the show. Like, look, it's obviously not a waste. He won money. He, got some stage credit and stuff like that, and he did qualify for an Olympia. But at this point, the Olympia is only like fucking 14 weeks. It's like, just you're already in shape. Do this Olympia, get it done with. Take a good long off season where you're not qualified, not wasting a qualification. And then if you want to do a late show and skip the 24 Olympia and do something for 25.
See, if you were saying to still do the 24 Olympia, then I would agree with you. But because you're saying
do the 24 Olympia, but just do a very late show. Do the last shows. Like do something like September.
October. That I would agree with. Yeah. I mean, look, it's good for him. It's his first year. It's incredible.
I mean, winning your pro debut in any capacity is a fucking huge feat.
For sure. Hasn't happened too many times.
I was slumming it out in like the bottom of the first call out for fucking 5 years before I won a show,
Look, it puts you in exclusive company.
Whatever size he put on was because of HOSSTILE, because we were with him his whole off season. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Justin. I gotta throw some crumbs to the other YouTube channels. They're gonna Stanimal, very, very impressive as well. He's very complete.
Yep.
And it's funny because it's almost like Stanimal was a cross between Justin and John, where he was complete. He has shape, he had conditioning, but could have used a little bit more muscle. Yeah, and I think if Stanimal was like 5 pounds of tissue heavier, he might have won that show.
Yeah, he needs some more leg. Like, it was the quad in the front shots and the leg in the side shots is probably what hurt him the most. Honestly, from the back shots, you could have had him winning the back shots. He was so hard. Yeah. And his legs from the back weren't quite as weak as they were from the side of the front, and his back is actually pretty decent. So with how overwhelming his conditioning is, you probably could have given him the back shots. But from the side and the front, and there was some few posing things like, look, I'm not a posing guru, but I can still see it when I see it. Certain shots like his side try, he had like a big gap where he could have closed that. He's kind of holding his arm out really far from his body. I think could have, a couple shots he could have probably won or done better in if he had fixed a few posing tweaks on those. But I mean, his condition was definitely the best in the show by far.
It's almost like I want to see Stan like have one body part, like two body parts that just explode.
Yeah,
and then just keep that like completeness and that condition, and just have like one freaky body part or something.
Yeah.
That's just like,
hey, let me ask you,
like put them over the top against certain people. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you guys if you agree with this. Do you think that being completely even all throughout your physique is actually hurts you?
I do,
because that's something I've always thought.
Unless you're massive everywhere.
Yeah, like Ronnie,
freak everywhere. Yeah.
But if you look at it historically, all the top guys generally do have like some crazy standout part.
Yeah. Well, because
you got to have that thing that like adds dimension to your physique. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or Phil with his arms and delts, Kevin with his arms and delts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ronnie with
Dorian's
his back glutes, hamstrings. Like these guys all have like one fucking
the one showstopper.
Yeah, Nick Walker with his arms, like these guys all have something. But in that same breath, like You look at someone like Hottie, he just won the Olympia last year. He doesn't have any. He's very even head to toe.
But
Derek and Nick that do
But
have
the overall musculature on Hottie is the fucking freak factor, right?
Yeah.
that's why because it's like Mike said, if you're gonna be even everywhere, you got to be a freak.
You got to be big.
Yeah.
Because
Like
the only reason I'm saying this is I never had any standout body parts, and I specifically remember a comment, or it was a coach, I don't remember, but they said nothing stands out, and I was like, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Because I remember I would compete against guys that had like massive legs or massive shoulders, and it would be like they would stand out more in a photo or in a lineup.
Because one body part like that will draw the eyes to you, you know?
As long as the other parts aren't lagging.
Yeah.
Right? What were you going to say, Paul?
Well, Samson but his shape is the freak factor, I guess. His mass with shape.
Well, but Samson's 200. It's like Mike said, he's 280 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like he's massive and even.
Yeah, he's got the freak factor
and
already.
He's not really even. Like his quads are humongous.
I know, and no one talks about his quads. It's kind of weird. It's just you talk about how beautiful his shape is, how big he is. Like,
because they accentuate that shape really well, so it actually like works in his benefit like that instead of standing out as like a freaky part, you know?
Yeah.
So just to show, we were talking about Chicago, showing this like shot. I know it's kind of far away, so nobody can really see it, but Stan's
down
here.
below, bottom left.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. See, I like Stan's physique. It's very well put together. He looks like he's a little flatter than the previous shows.
He's obviously more
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third show now, I think, right?
But look at that from the back.
Fucking
Yeah.
cement, you know?
But this is what I mean. See, like you see the size on Justin, the size on John. If Stan was just another 5 or 10 pounds heavier, this could have been his show.
In the legs, it would definitely do a lot for his physique.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
So the way Stan's progression has been, he probably will be another 5 pounds bigger next year.
But I mean, like you could argue him winning the shot right there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that this is what I mean about the shot we were talking about with Justin, Ian. Like his hamstrings, with Justin's hamstrings are very thick.
Yeah.
So I don't think this adductor, this piece that's sticking out right here, is making that big a difference.
Yeah.
Versus if he pulled this in and he had striated, and I don't know if he had striated glutes when it pulls in or not, but I feel like it would have been a better for him if he did.
And I think it might even show more hamstring detail too.
I actually, sorry, I have one more aspect of that I want to talk about, just because I noticed it on another bodybuilder who I won't mention. But when you do, well, actually, it's fine. When I was talking about Hunter, the one thing I think guys forget also is, okay, so he's pulled his glutes out, right, to make the adductor look thicker.
Yeah, pop the hips back.
But illusion wise, this is the first thing you see, and I feel like it actually makes his back look worse.
I can agree with that. I did it for one New York Pro, and honestly, I got fucking roasted more for it than I ever did in any show I ever did.
Yeah. So, and
people
this is
saying like that my back looked worse than it has.
Yeah.
Because of it. The people saying that I was out of condition because obviously I didn't have the typical glute striations that I had because I was popping the back.
And this is
like the worst decision I ever made on stage. Yeah.
And this is what I told Hunter when I saw it. I said, Hunter, your glutes are big.
I mean, have you seen what he looks like now? His glutes are fucking peeled. Like
no, I know, but he's pulling it in now. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's better. Show that off.
Yeah, I said your glutes are big and your hamstrings are big and your back is improved, but you're not showing the improvement because you're sticking your ass out.
So are guys doing it the pop in order to show their adductors more?
Right here.
So, but Justin's got thick adductors already. He doesn't need to accentuate that. They're already thick.
No, that's not true. Look at John. So John's got really thick legs, right? But because he's pulling his glutes all the way in, there's a gap here. It still doesn't.
You think Justin would have that same gap?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because even like look at Stan, like that gap.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think that gap is necessarily,
No, it's not, because like look at John. Like John's has that gap there. His glutes are pulled in, and this pose looks great.
Yeah, because I mean, unless it's a big gap, but I'm sure it wouldn't be a drastic.
I don't think
it's very similar, kind of like legs, hamstrings to you, Fouad. I find his back shots kind of look like yours.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to say, Paul, is if your hamstrings are big enough, it doesn't matter if there's a gap. And that's what I'm trying to say about Justin. His hamstrings are so big, and his quads have such a sweep that if this piece of adductor wasn't here, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, right. I agree. So
he's taking away from his back by doing this, because now his glutes and hams look so big, his back looks smaller. So
because all he can do is rock his back even to his hip line, right?
Yeah.
So he can't tip back and like roll and crunch down that lower back to make it smaller. It stays lengthened. That's why the lat looks like it inserts so high. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like
so-
he's almost giving himself like an illusion of, he wants to show off the illusion of the waist from the back too, which is fucking pointless because no one's judging the skinniness of your waist on a back shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like look at Stan, he looks better in that shot. He's got a thicker waist than all of them.
So
You know
we'll
what I mean?
talk about these two, fourth and fifth. I was surprised at how good Patrick looked. I know he was off, but he was much better than the Arnold. So congratulations to him for getting better. But I still think if he was sharper, he could have placed higher. And Blessing, in my opinion, this was his show to lose, and I still believe that. I think
I agree.
he was much bigger than the other guys, and his shape is still good. I think if he was shredded, he probably would have won the show.
Yeah, he posted something about he messed up his last week prep or something like that.
Look, he's working with a coach now. He self-coached himself for that show, which is
Okay.
99% of the time not a good idea.
Yeah.
He's working with Cameron Sheik now, which I think will be good for him, and he's doing one of the European shows or something, I think, at the end of the year.
Cameron's really good, man. Everybody he fucking trains is peeled.
Yeah.
Paul, being a judge, Ian, Mike, I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
This was Blessing's show to lose?
Well, I mean, Blessing has the freakiest physique up there. He's got
He has those freaky body parts too that we talked
freaky
about.
body
Like
parts.
if he's in shape and he walks out with those like crazy fucking body parts, you're like, everyone else can look great, but game over. Like visually, your eyes break
I
back.
feel like it was a bad decision. I mean, I guess everybody wants to try at some point, but I feel like it was a bad decision to try and coach yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like at this level, you should just
You ever coach yourself for a show, Fouad, other than like amateur shows or anything?
never, not even amateur shows.
No.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in that like level of, I know some people think it's like, oh, it's your body and you know more. And no, you don't.
Yeah, but then just if you
You
know
can't.
more, relay that to a coach and let them pair
Right.
that with expertise, you know?
Well,
Make those
there's-
decisions. You need that extra set
I
of
know
eyes.
my body, and Matt can ask me like, "Hey, how you feeling XYZ?" But like that still doesn't mean I'm calling the shots. I'm just giving him intel, you know.
Yeah, you can't
Well,
make
there's-
decisions like that on your
there's
own the
two-
last couple of weeks.
Especially not the last 4 weeks when like
No.
food is low and your mind's playing tricks with you. You think
Yeah.
you're in shape or out of shape. Like sometimes I talk to clients and they'll be like, "I'm fucking peeled, man. Like I'm so peeled." I'm like, you have 10
Yeah.
pounds to go.
Yeah.
You're not
This is
even
the-
close. And they'll talk to guys that'll be like, "Man, I still feel so fat," and they're like 0% body fat. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you have no clue what you're looking
Yeah.
at.
No.
Yeah, it's like, first of all, there's two things to me, in my opinion. You don't know your body better than somebody who's been doing it for, some of these coaches have been doing it for 20 fucking years. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
It's
you,
with every different body type.
you don't know your body better. You have some cues you can tell them about, like Ian said, like I don't like sweet potato, it doesn't digest well, or I don't
Yeah.
like, these kind of things. But the coach knows better what to do when they see your body fat level and your fullness, and knows what to do with the food.
Yeah.
And then the second, and more importantly, because some people are really smart and they do know how to fucking get themselves in shape. But the second part you guys touched on, to me, was always actually more important. You cannot make rational decisions when you're mind fucked going into
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah.
Look, there's obviously a
And
general.
stressed.
I do think, I mean, like John Jewett just coached himself for that show at Lampy one, and it was probably one of the best looks of his career. So I think it is possible. But I
Yeah.
think you need to be extremely mentally like unbiased in what you're looking at. Like you need to really set yourself out of the equation, you know?
I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I'm
John
not.
can do that
It's a
better
rare
than most,
person
but
that
I
can
don't
do
think
it.
most people have the ability to do that. I definitely couldn't, you know?
It's a
I'm not-
rarity.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I definitely think it's a rare thing, because most
Absolutely.
guys that you've seen try and do it have
I
always.
just said it
looked
because I know
better.
someone. I
Yeah.
just said because I know someone in the comments be like, "Well, John coached himself." It's like, yes, we know there is people like that, but
Yeah,
Right.
I
Same
didn't-
with Dorian.
I didn't mean to speak in absolutes. It's not an absolute.
Yeah.
But more often than not, you're going to
Yeah.
be better with the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. The other freaky thing that happened that fucking weekend was Carlos
Carlos.
Thomas Jr.
Mm.
Showed up and put everybody on fucking notice with this guest posing. This is wild, man.
It is.
yeah, the muscularity is outrageous. Yeah,
The roundness.
Like, this is the freak factor Mike's talking about. Like, look at the legs, the calves, the fucking chest, like everything. Arms, stomach is small. Hamstring drop is
he
insane.
didn't show his back a ton in it, but
Yeah.
he's from the front, and this like look at his hamstring drop. That's just fucked, you know.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. This was insanely impressive to me, and like this is a guy that can place top 5 at the Olympia soon.
Yes.
But for 4 weeks out, when he turns to the back, his conditioning does look a little behind to me. So I would be hesitant to, like, that's definitely something I'd be putting my foot on the gas. You know,
One of the things I wonder about with Carlos is we talk about like body fat level versus conditioning and detail.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I wonder.
Here, like, look at the thickness of the skin on his glutes. Like,
No, I know, but hear me out for a sec. So one of the things I wonder about with Carlos, because he's so big, is even if he strips away all the body fat, is he just one of these guys that just not going to have a ton of detail?
I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying I'm not. It's a question. I'm not saying he won't.
Yeah.
It's a question. I'm saying, like, is there so much muscle that he's just not going to get that really deep separation?
I mean, Ronnie Coleman had deep separation. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Rami didn't.
I think he just has to be willing to stuff it.
No, but wait a minute. That's a good point. So Ronnie was insane with his detail, but Rami was massive and didn't really have crazy detail.
He did earlier in his career, though. And he was still big. I think that.
Did he ever have like crazy
detail?
I hate to say this, but I think it's a product of secondary enhancements, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's site injections. I think that's SEOs, perhaps. I think that's things that have, damaged the muscle and caused blurring in there. Shooting too many things in your quads or in your delts or in your arms that over time have caused some kind of damage in there that have withered away, whether it's some type of nerve damage or some type of scar tissue buildup or whatever it is that has hindered it. Because that wasn't always the case in his physique. And I don't think it's just because he got a little bit bigger,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I hope you're right. I think Carlos is like, he's fucking wild to look at. Like,
oh my God. I shit my pants. When I saw that, I was like, this is one of the craziest guest postings I've seen in as long as I can remember. Muscularity wise, when he hit that fucking most muscular, that side chest, like, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at?
All right, let's play a stupid game. Let's say he gets
We never do that.
The new segment? Let's try something different.
Brought to you by who?
Let's say he gets stupid detail like Sean Roden 2017. He's gonna beat everyone. Where is he placed at the Olympia?
Yeah, I think he needs a little more muscle on his back, but if he comes in that kind of condition, he's definitely in the top 6, in the first call out for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like from the front,
Does he beat
that pose, front double, front lat, side chest, side try, most muscular, he's easily beating
I think that
those top 5 guys,
that physique with like Lunsford's back is probably a recipe for like champion for days.
But wait a minute, that's not as realistic, because now we're saying he's gonna put on like a fucking 10 pounds on his back.
No, but he opens up his back well, considering it still needs work. Like if you see him, he opens it and then he sits it well. He knows how to pose it. I trained him on back. I trained him on back when he came up to pier. I trained him one, and it was like literally like training a fucking. I've never seen that much muscle on an individual.
Yeah,
like it's like touching a fucking foreign object when you're trying to like. You guys know, because I train you guys. If I'm like hands on with someone, like I'm moving stuff that I didn't know that could be that big. Like I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Like like just getting him to like stuff I do with Ian, like getting him to lift his chest and stuff. Like you see, like it's not that he doesn't want to lift his chest. It's there's so much fucking muscle. The chest is moving, but you just can't see it because everything else around it is just moving, right? Like it's fucking crazy, man.
So okay, I'll give you guys a more relevant question. Can he beat Hunter this weekend?
I
gotta see his
conditioning. I don't think he's going to beat him in conditioning. I think Hunter looks really good.
I think if I'm only basing it off what I saw in the guest posing, I don't know how much he's improved in 3 weeks since then, conditioning wise. I think his conditioning won't be good enough to beat a guy like but he's not doing Tampa. Sorry.
Yeah, he is.
He's not on the lineup.
Oh, I thought he told us he was doing Tampa and Texas.
The lineup is out.
Yeah, the lineup, he wasn't on it, but maybe he's doing it, but he's not on the list.
Unless he changed his mind, he's just doing Texas. I don't know. I thought he was doing both.
I thought he was doing Texas for sure, and they might do Tampa.
Okay.
Maybe that's the case. So maybe what's happened, if we're right, maybe he didn't feel like he was in shape enough, so they're waiting for Texas.
Well, because that guest posting there said 4 weeks out, Texas Pro. It didn't say Tampa, right?
Okay.
So,
well, since we're talking about him, you take a look at Hunter.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Yeah, he does.
The best Hunter we've ever seen, for sure.
For sure. Definitely.
Back is improved. Conditioning is better than it's ever been. Skin
Definitely the best conditioning I've ever seen him in.
I love this shot on him now.
Skin
like
looks
Dorian accurate.
Yeah.
Like graininess, man. That's fucking wild. Imagine that in black and white beside Dorian.
Yeah.
He's never had that kind of graininess, man. I think him and Ben have really done some good together, man. I think I think not doing as well as he wanted to at the Olympia last year was a good wake up call for him.
Oh, has it ever been? Jeez.
Yeah.
Look at that shot. That's beautiful.
And kudos to Ben, man. People talk a lot of
Yep.
shit. People talked a lot of shit last year when Hunter didn't do well about Ben and his coaching, but you know, they were doing more of a team effort thing last year, whereas this time Hunter was just doing just Ben's protocol. His diet, his training, his everything, supplementation was all Ben, and this is a result. So kudos to Ben for fucking putting it together for him. Let's just hope they can peak right. Oh, there'll be huge biceps in the way. It's a muscle worship video all of a sudden.
Every competitor I've seen of Ben's, you know, an amateur especially, is always bang on.
That back looks great.
Look at that. Look how much the back has come up now.
The lower lat, like erectors.
Hamstrings and glutes.
Good for him,
Just
man.
like it just seems like he's opened up a lot. Like the physique is just like unraveled. It's almost like it's just fallen open now. Even on the front double, like that height that he holds on it is fucking. It looks crazy.
He's gonna shut a lot of people up this year.
Honestly, if this peaks the way I think it will, I see him in the top 6 at the Olympia, top 5.
If that's 40s, I don't see how you can mess that up at this point. Like, you know.
You know how it is. It shows, man.
I guess so. Yeah.
Anything can happen, but this is wild to me, man. Like the graininess, that side of the leg, like this shit in here, that's fucking dry and paper thin.
Great.
His posing is fucking really good. His stomach control, he's doing vacuums all off season. Stomach control is really, really good. See what I mean? You pull the glutes in, you see all the detail. Hamstrings are thick enough, doesn't take anything away from his leg.
Yeah, like that little bit of gap that's there doesn't affect the pose at all.
I wish we could see it. I wish we could see it, but his back looks way better because of it.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. Looking forward to this weekend. So do you guys think is Hunter the favorite?
The lineup's there. You can find it. So I'm going with the borders.
I will. Is Hunter the favorite? Because really it's going to come down to well, now that Carlos is not doing it, it's going to be Hunter and John, I guess.
And there's Joel Thomas, who's been to the Olympia. He's
yeah, Joel's good too.
He has a pretty bad umbilical hernia right now, which I think is.
Does he? Oh yeah, he had that. Yeah.
Nathan Spear, Hunter, Brady King, Roy Evans, Stephen Daniels, Lewis Breed. I don't know who this is.
Yeah. Small shows.
7 guys.
Oh
yeah.
Add blessing to it as well. Add John.
Oh.
And
So how much weight, how much conditioning do you think Blessing could achieve in the 3 weeks or whatever since Chicago?
I mean,
with a new coach too.
You can bring it down. I don't know if it'll be quite enough. Like, look, do I think even if he's peeled, he's going to beat Hunter? No. Do I think he could be second if he's in better condition? Yeah, potentially. You know.
Yeah. Well,
Joel Thomas has pictures that are recent too. You can click him and look.
Yeah, no, I've seen him. He always looks fucking great.
Yeah, he's peeled.
Freak.
Yeah,
he's just he's structurally a smaller guy though.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that will hurt him, like standing next to Blessing.
Yeah.
And people don't, some people still don't realize this, but Hunter's a big fucking guy structurally on stage.
He's
so
wide,
I think
it's wide. Yeah.
I think Joel's going to have a problem with Blessing if he's in shape, and definitely Hunter, but maybe Joel and John would be a good matchup. I think John's going to
excellent condition. Now, Paul, as a judge, when you look at a hernia of that capacity, like, what are you thinking with that?
It can hurt him.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like if it's close, you know what I mean, on a front, on a abdominal and thigh, for example, if it's a closed pose with him and another, we talked about it before, it's
this is a pretty significant hernia.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was him, I would get it fixed ASAP.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into Tampa picks, our Chicago picks are absolutely brutal. Like, they're fucking real bad.
Yeah, Blessing.
We got the spreadsheet now, bro. Just plug the names in.
Oh yeah.
I like the old school way, dude.
We got a spreadsheet that calculates this now.
All right. High tech.
You know exactly who won.
I don't even know where the fuck I put it. Let me see.
I emailed you. Just look your email and search my name.
No, stop.
Okay, let's just do it the old way then. This is going to take too long.
You're so bossy. I don't know where the fuck it went. I dragged it onto my desktop somewhere.
Are we doing predictions for Tampa?
Yeah, 1 second.
No point.
Matt, no, not that one. No, not that one. No, sorry, dude. I'm gonna have to find it a different time.
Yep, all good.
Okay. Ian is the only one who won. He had Justin winning. Paul, Mike, Fouad had Blessing winning. Paul had John in second, Justin third, Stan fourth. So you fucked that up.
Yeah.
Mike had Stan, Justin, John, second, third, fourth. You fucked that up.
Who was fifth, Patrick?
Patrick Moore was fourth.
Oh, okay.
So you guys all had Patrick Moore. We all had Patrick Moore in fifth. So we were close there.
So wait, Patrick beat Blessing?
Yeah, he was fourth.
Okay.
Blessing was sixth, right?
No, I thought he was fifth. Aaron Gawley was sixth, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
For some reason, I thought that Blessing beat Patrick. But
I had Justin, Stan, John, second, third, fourth. So I'm second place because I had Justin in second. What are you laughing at, Paul?
By your math, I guess so.
Well, you had. Well, I was the closest after Ian. I had Justin.
Well,
in second.
we should have been keeping score all year long to see
Oh,
who's
fuck
got the
you.
best scores at the end of the year.
Oh, fuck off.
That would have took too much.
Don't be so competitive, Judge Paul.
Yeah.
Take the
That's the
L.
only thing I got, Fred. That's all I got.
Take the L. Okay, Tampa.
Fuck, it's so easy to pick first, and then every other place is actually going to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
So-
look, no offense to anybody. Clearly, Hunter's going to wipe the floor with the show.
Yeah.
So, but how do you pick after that?
So should we just pick second through whatever then?
Yeah, we're all going to pick Ian.
Yeah, we're all going to pick
sorry.
Hunter
We're all
first.
going to pick Hunter to win.
Okay, so Hunter across the board.
And who's the names that weren't on the list? Blessing and who else?
Blessing and John. I'm going to say John. I don't know if Blessing will bring it down, but Cameron is a really good coach. So I'm going
I'll
to say,
do my picks if you want.
go ahead, Ian.
Okay, I'm going to do Hunter, John, Joel, Blessing, and I have no idea who else is in the show other than that.
Well, it's on the screen, isn't it?
Brady King. I'll
Oh,
put
no,
Brady
not-
King
I forgot I'm not sharing it.
Nate Spears.
or Nate Spear. Brady or Nate. Yeah, maybe. Fuck, I don't know.
Hunter, John,
Who's Roy
Joel.
Evans? Who's Roy
don't
Evans?
I don't know.
Sorry, Roy, I don't know who you are, but
I don't know who Steven Daniels is either, or Lewis Breed. My apologies to any of you guys if you watch the show. I have no idea who you are.
Ian, who's fifth? Who's
Tag
fifth?
there. Lewis Breed's his pro debut.
Who's fifth
He
for
paid
you?
beef. What?
Who's fifth for you?
Uh,
Roy Evans is black dude, good shape, bald.
no,
Let's
look at
see.
Lewis. I want to see Lewis.
1 second. Let's look at Roy Evans. Roy Evans is pretty good, man. And he's been packing on size for a while now. I don't know if he's fully completed his,
Oh yeah, I recognize this guy. Yeah.
his size transformation, though.
Mhm.
I don't know. Okay, let's go back.
Let's see Lewis.
There's Lewis.
Down,
Lewis
down,
Breed.
down there.
Right there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw this guy. His stomach's a little bit thick,
Oh.
but overall, he's great.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of
big
muscle.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's a little bit
Yeah.
wide in the waist.
Yeah.
But like got a ton of muscle, so it kind of supports it.
Yeah. Any back shots?
I'm going.
got lats on him. Holy fuck!
Oh, that's it. We don't get the full.
Oh,
We don't get the full
Jeez,
Monty.
what a tease, huh? What a tease! That
yeah.
I have a
Big
feeling
dude.
he might be a structurally smaller guy.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
hard for me to tell.
I feel like his waist might hurt him a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. All
He
right.
looks good, though. Good conditioning. I'm gonna put Nate in fifth.
Brady King.
This is his
guy.
debut and open as well.
I think he's a little
He used to be a classic guy, right?
lighter still. Okay. Who are you putting in fifth, Ian?
Nate.
Nate?
Nate Spear.
Okay. Paul.
Hunter, John, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So for me, it's gonna be it's between Joel and Blessing here for third or
Come
fourth.
on. We're not
Um,
betting anything. Just pick.
Okay, I think Joel's hernia is gonna hurt him a little bit. I'm gonna go Blessing third, Joel fourth, Nate fifth.
Mike?
I'm gonna go Hunter, John, Joel, the little midget we just saw with the big waist. Or I don't forget his name.
Brady, is that Lewis Breed?
Yeah, and then Blessing fifth.
Blessing fifth. Wow.
Yeah.
Zero confidence in his prep.
He really fucked me on Chicago. So
You're still pissed about it, eh, Mike?
I think Cameron's going to get him in shape, so I'm going to go Blessing second.
Oh yeah, second, eh?
Yeah, John third. Nate and Joel.
You see the size of the classic lineup at the show? Go over 2 slides.
Really? Is it huge?
50 guys in the classic. Yeah.
Really? Classic's
Yeah.
taking over, eh?
No, wrong thing.
No, it's not taking over, Paul.
Well, numbers wise, I mean.
No, same picture you click, but click the arrows on the picture.
I know. Relax. Jesus.
No, you did it again. One more.
damn it!
It's the big 212 lineup.
too.
Yeah. How about Jay, eh? Did well in his debut.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pick.
Oh.
Give me a minute. I'm going to pick the winner right now.
Top 5 right now. Go.
It's going to be
Is Logan in it?
no, no, one
Logan,
second.
yep. Logan's gonna be up there.
No. It's going to be.
Oh,
I don't know.
DeSantis back, eh?
Really know a lot of these names, so I don't.
I don't know
I'm a
anymore.
huge classic fan.
We can talk about the change, the weight changes.
Nope. What we should talk about. Ooh, Bob Waterhouse.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. Okay. What we should talk about is fucking Roman.
Oh yeah.
Roman is going to the fucking Olympia. Look at this motherfucker. Changes posing. All of a sudden, look crazy.
He looked awesome here. Yeah.
Look how much bigger he looked, eh?
So, just to give Amir some props, absolutely crazy conditioning.
Yeah, both of them were.
And he was to be able to compare conditioning with Roman is a fucking is a major feat. So good for him.
Show promoters take notes. The lighting here was awesome.
Yeah, it was. And I think Amir, if I'm not wrong, is only like 25 or something like that.
He's
So
only 20.
good.
Really?
The only reason for anybody wondering why Roman won, I mean, illusion wise, you can see it. Just limbs were a little bit bigger.
Yeah, he's
Back
more
is-
complete for sure.
Yeah.
Back's a little bit bigger. Structure is a little better. Amir's got a little bit longer waist.
Legs are definitely better.
So yeah, but it's good. They showed good sportsmanship at the end of it. I liked it. It was a good show. But Roman's posing actually looks a little bit effortless for him, and he made some changes.
This looked
Mhm.
good. You
To
can
the
tell
side
that
shots.
he felt confidence in winning. You know.
Yeah.
And you can see that confidence in his posing here for sure. Like
Look at the hamstring
little
drop there.
transitions and like he's feeling himself. You know.
It's so much different when you're posing with confidence, eh? As opposed to any doubt in your mind.
His side leg looks awesome though. Yeah. Yeah, Mir is fucking peeled too.
Oh my god!
Like, look at that.
I'm like, I was blown
Oof.
away. I'm like, how the fuck? Camera dude, you forgot the winner. There you go. Rowan's not flexing here, but he's still got striations in his glutes.
Yeah.
I still think
back double like so old school, you know.
I still think I could tweak his posing to make him look even
Back
better.
shots definitely,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
back lat looks good, but
It's not his upper back. It's just the way he poses his leg. I feel like is hurting him a little bit. But who cares? Congratulations to him, man. I can't believe the conditioning and the fullness is like perfect for him.
both of them are just so peeled.
Does Roman do his own diets?
No, he usually, I don't know if he's doing it for this one. He usually works with somebody. Do you know if he worked with somebody for this, Ian?
Not sure.
He usually has someone helping him, but I don't know if he's taking it into his own hands now.
Okay.
I mean, if anybody can help themselves,
Yeah.
it's Roman because he's fucking peeled all year round. So it's really just a matter of like getting the fullness
I
right.
like this most muscular he hits it.
Yeah.
Looks very like Antoine Vaillant to me, you know?
Oh yeah.
It looks good on him. Massive shoulders, good legs.
Looks like Antoine. I like how he hits that.
Look at his fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
Round fucking E-pack delts.
Amir second, and then there was a couple of young guys that were fourth and fifth that were pretty impressive.
That kid from Spain, that Jose.
This kid won his pro card. He looked good.
Up more.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. Was the other shots somewhere?
Well, there's that kid there on the left. No.
One sec. Okay. This is Roman's first Olympia, right?
Yep.
Good for
Oh,
him.
yeah?
That kid. These two guys.
Yeah.
So this kid's like 25. Look at the split in this bicep.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
Like Boyer Co.
This kid's like, I heard he was like 25 or something like that.
That's a kid from Spain, right, Jose?
Yeah. And then there's this guy, also heard was young, but I don't.
This kid's good.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but these guys are good.
What's this guy's name?
That's Wolski. I don't know who this is. I'm not sure who his name is.
Tagged there in a picture before it.
What do you mean?
Close this.
What? Oh, in the picture before on the thing.
Oh,
There, far left. No,
here.
There. Pablo
Okay.
Lopez.
Huh.
Pablo Lopez.
That's a good roundness, though. He looks good.
He's filled this out, man. It's gonna be impressive.
Kind of got like a Marius Doan thing going on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, that looks fucking sick. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, those side shots are nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Doubts.
Got a good physique.
Yeah, he does.
He's a little fuller here, I think.
Yeah, I think his only issue, he's a little narrow in the clavicles, which might hurt him, but he's very fucking dense, you know?
I think it's also, I feel like his quads start low
Yeah.
and he's got a long waist. Like, you see that?
Peak
And
short
then,
turn
and then
Great
watch,
fucking chest hang, though.
watch. He'll hunch over.
Short turn.
He likes those. He's got them on every picture.
There. See how he did that at the end?
Yeah.
That's why he's posing like that. Because he's got a long torso and his sweep starts low. So when he gets into his relaxed, like see how long that is? But then at the end here, right there, he crunches. That's fucking nice. When he crunches down like that.
He loses a bit of width through the lats, but it definitely helps overall, I think.
Well, I think it's because his legs are actually just bigger. Like, he needs to balance out his physique a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
he's
looks
good
great,
though. I don't know how old he is.
Another young gun, eh?
115 kilograms. So what is that? 230?
That's 253.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's times 2.205.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
2.21.
Is that what you think it is?
Shut up.
Pretty
Oliver.
sure. Google it.
You nailed that. Paul nailed that quick. If you're right,
I told you, Mike.
Oh.
But when it comes to quick math,
It's literally exactly 253. He's right. Yeah.
Fuck you, Paul.
ah,
I'm always a little bit right. Sometimes I'm all the way right.
told you, I'm like Rain Man when it comes to math.
No, you're not. Can you please? You're not. You're not.
He hit that on the button within like a millisecond. That was pretty
He
good.
got that one, but
Yeah, like- Nailed that.
Out of the park.
who told you you're like Rain Man? Who told you that? Where did you get this from?
That just came. No, nobody ever told me that before, actually.
'Cause I've always known him on the spectrum.
Well, congratulations to Roman, man. That's a fucking huge feat, especially because he's been competing for a while. To finally get to the fucking Olympia, man. That's really, really awesome. He's got to fucking feel great about it. So that's pretty much the news since we fucking been gone, right? Anything we're missing?
the weight limits increased.
Who cares?
I mean, they gave 7 pounds to all the weights except for the 6'1" one.
Yeah, and amateurs go up 10.
Well, the amateurs will go up the same amount as the pros. They're just 10 pounds less.
Okay.
So they'll all gain the same 7 or 2 pound increase, whatever it is, for depending on the height class, but it's just 10 pounds less than the pros.
The only thing I'm surprised about is that they implemented it immediately. Like they're not waiting until next year.
Yeah.
Like shows this weekend are going to be impacted by it.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing though. So what?
Yeah, I just surprised. I just thought they'd wait till the end of the year.
For the Olympia, I think it's good. The guys that starting to prep for the Olympia now have that that leeway. They know, so.
Yeah, maybe that's what was part of the decision. So no one's.
I mean, that's going to be big for guys like the fucking Urzes and the Ramones that are like right on that cusp, like really.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Is who's gonna impact the most? Because I thought it was like 2 pounds for anybody in the middle height classes, right? Well, I thought the way Tyler explained it was.
No. So all the classes gained 7 pounds except for Chris's class, the 6'1", 6'1" and over up to 6'2" gained 2 pounds.
Because they already had a bigger gap.
Yeah, because certain classes had a 7 pound and 5 pound gap where that one had a 10, so they increased it by 2. So now they have a 14 pound gap where Chris's now has a 12.
Okay, listen, you're probably right, but that's not what I got from it.
Did I misinterpret it? I mean, maybe I did, but
no.
I think you're right.
It could be me. Just let's hear him out for a second. Oh shit.
Vice President, I'm here with a big announcement regarding our classic physique weights. we're going to be upping our classic physique weights for the pros slightly, going into effect immediately at the upcoming pro shows this weekend. We took a look and realized that one height grouping had a little bit of an advantage over other height groups. This height grouping is over 6'1" and up to and including 6'2". The weight jump from the previous weight goes up by 10 pounds. All the middle height classes and every other height class basically goes up by either 7 or 8 pounds. The lowest height divisions only go up by 5 pounds. So what we decided to do was we're giving the 2 pounds to the over 6'1" up to and including 6'2", so they also get a little bit of a weight increase. The lowest height classes will be getting 7 additional pounds. This will include the 2 pound jump that the over 6'1" and up to including 6'2" got, and the 5 pounds to make up the difference from the 5 pound weight jumps they got compared to the 10 pound weight jump. This information is posted on ifbbpro.com and epicnewsonline.com. Of course, the next question will be, will the amateur and...
Okay, I think you're right. Sorry, you're right, Ian.
So confused.
So
by
7 pounds for the shortest classes, 5 pounds for the middle classes? Or is it 7 pounds for
7
everybody
pounds.
except for the highest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the ones that only had the 5 will be getting the 2 plus the 5.
Yeah.
And the others that already had the 2 will get the 5. So
Right.
then it'll make the
Right.
gaps all the same. And then Chris's class and the taller one will just get 2 pounds.
That 2 pounds is not going to impact Chris at all, right? Because he's already under, isn't he under
He
the
was
cap?
237, I think, last year. So he gets up to 242 now. So he has 5 pounds of leeway. So he's fine.
Yeah.
But it impacts him in the way that his closest competitors now can be bigger, you know?
Yeah.
The other
So,
announcement he made was
the guys like Ramon and like especially Ramon, who was like fucking 1 hair under the weight limit last year, now has fucking 5 more pounds or 7 more pounds. You know, that's a big advantage. So that's good. Well, that'll make it a more interesting show for sure.
So just speaking, whatever. Do you think? I don't think Ramon and Chris is like. I don't think it's decided on size. Is what I was going to say.
Oh no, I don't think Chris.
Like I don't think
that's gonna
Ramon.
change
I don't think Ramon being 5 pounds heavier will change.
Yeah.
The outcome, as long as Chris is the same as he was last year.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Okay.
I agree too.
I just didn't know if you guys thought that. Maybe it'll change something between Urs and Ramon though.
Yeah.
Because Urs is
Because we're going fuller.
well, because Urs' shape could be even accentuated even more now if he's 5 pounds heavier.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that could be a different story.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Let's go to. I did something a little different today. I'm going to go to my page. We're going to read these together. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're going to try it.
The questions?
What's your definition of a real bodybuilder? I guess I don't have.
Oh, Lauzon.
Thank you, Mike. I'll proudly wear that crown.
Any guy who can convert pounds to kilograms that quick is Micah.
Right, man. And that all translates into building muscle too.
What's your definition of a real bodybuilder?
Fuck, I don't fucking know, man.
Someone who has at least been on stage before and lives a bodybuilding lifestyle still.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you need to have been on stage to be a bodybuilder. Well, it's different because there's a bodybuilder and there's a competitive bodybuilder. So it's like, are we just talking about competitive bodybuilders? Because I kind of loop that different. Like you could be a bodybuilder person. No, I don't know.
My definition.
I think you need to compete to be a bodybuilder. Yeah,
That's my opinion. You do.
Okay.
If not, you're just
wait.
like a gym, like you just train. You know?
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Remember we used to say, it's like if someone called themselves a model because they were in a magazine.
Yeah.
Or like, did you pay to be in the magazine? Or
do you have a modeling contract?
Or
do
were you
pay?
paid to be in the magazine?
Yeah.
To me, that's the difference. It's a salary thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you think to be a bodybuilder, you need to be getting paid. So that would say every single amateur without a contract is
Just
not
hear
a
me
bodybuilder.
out. Just no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's another
You are.
way. No, I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm saying if somebody asks you, what do you do for a living? And you get
That's not
paid.
the question. That's not the question.
Oh, okay.
The question is, what is a bodybuilder? And we're not talking about what your profession is. We're not saying, are you a professional bodybuilder? It's just asking, what is a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
You
Well-
can be an amateur bodybuilder, not necessarily a professional bodybuilder.
It's like being like a cyclist or something.
If wait a minute, Ian, wait, we're gonna fucking, this is gonna get tricky.
It's not.
It is. So if if I work at Burger King,
Yep.
but I have done the Fouad Abiad show, am I a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
If you still live the lifestyle.
You're an aspiring bodybuilder.
No. Am I a bodybuilder? Can I walk around and say I'm a bodybuilder?
Let me ask you this. If you work at Burger King and you play golf 5 days a week, can you say you're a golfer?
No.
What about if you go out in golf tournaments?
What? How can you not say you're a golfer if you golf regularly?
But there's like literally professional MMA fighters who have regular jobs and they're still professional MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Okay. So if so it has nothing to do with getting paid or career. It's just if you do it.
Yeah.
So if I play,
if you do it in any competitive sense.
So if I play house league soccer, can I say I'm a soccer player?
You can say that you play soccer, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Am I a real soccer player?
Yeah. You're a soccer player.
Oh, you're not.
You are. You're an amateur, but you're a soccer player.
Fuck you guys. If you
not a beer league.
Okay, Paul. You have a friend who plays hockey. You have a friend who plays hockey in a league, right?
Beer league hockey.
Can Sean say he's a hockey player?
No, but he used to play competitive hockey. So in that case, he probably could say that he was.
What if
you just say that he was? You're a hobby, but when people say bodybuilder, because people in the gym who go to the gym, their only goal in the gym is to build their bodies to be better.
Yeah,
they don't have any other reason to be. So they get away with saying that because they're like, "Oh, I'm a bodybuilder," because they're not trying to get stronger for something. They're not trying to get more athletic. They're not competing in power sports.
So anybody,
I think that's why it slips to the scale shifts with bodybuilding, because even if you are a competitive bodybuilder, unless you're the top of the top, you're still kind of not making any money, right?
And here's the difference, Fouad, for me in your scenario. Okay, just hear me out on this. Bodybuilding's a unique sport in that, like, there's really only one road to the professional, to become a professional. Like, if you're playing beer league hockey, you're not on your road to the NHL.
What I'm asking you is, you're saying the metric for how we gauge if somebody's a real bodybuilder is whether he competes.
Has.
Okay.
Or still is, but continues to live the lifestyle.
So he has to compete. He has to compete or has to have competed.
Well,
and still lives a lifestyle.
And like Mike said, train with the intent of only gaining.
No. Wait a minute.
Bodybuilding.
Time out. Paul just said still lives the lifestyle. I wouldn't consider the lifestyle I live still the bodybuilding lifestyle. Does that mean I'm not a real bodybuilder?
You weight train every day, and the majority of your meals are.
My majority of my meals are pizza
a day.
But your intention,
not a bodybuilder anymore.
Right.
But your intention of going to the gym is to improve your physique.
No, it's not. The intention of going to the gym is because I love training. I'm not trying to improve my physique.
You're an ex bodybuilder.
Right. I'm an ex bodybuilder. So Paul is saying if you still live the bodybuilding lifestyle, Paul is trying to fit himself into the category. That's really all he's doing.
Yeah, I don't want to say that. Because I still might compete one day for it. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Might get called back to the stage.
Yeah, I might. If I get the itch again.
My only point is I don't think being competitive makes you a bodybuilder, because you can live the lifestyle and do everything and just be like, you know what, maybe I don't want to compete.
I mean, the actual Google definition is a bodybuilder is any individual who engages in weight training program and nutrition to improve muscular development.
Yeah, so it's like a sliding scale with bodybuilding. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think
as long as your goals are to,
because we'd all straight up laugh at someone if they played flag football and they said they were a football player.
Right.
That
was my
you're
point.
Fucking kidding me, right? Like, but in bodybuilding, it's such a broad term. If you
that was why
when I use the golf exception, like if someone played golf regularly, I would say that they could say they're a golfer. No, so it's like, how do you?
Well, you would laugh that in that guy's face.
So what?
Somebody
they're nothing with golf. They're just nothing.
Because this is why. This is no. But this is,
they don't even play golf. I play golf 5 days a week.
Wait. This is why. But this is why context matters. If you're in a conversation, you're like, "Hey, what do you do?" He's like, "I'm a golfer," but really, he works at Burger King. That in that context, that's laughable.
Okay, so what about
what he should say is my hobbies are golf. I enjoy golf.
What about the context? But then this goes back to like, what about like a Steve Kukla or Ronnie Coleman when he was a full-time police officer, a full-time paramedic? Are you a paramedic or are you a bodybuilder? Which one are you?
No, because his life goal and drive was to be the best bodybuilder on earth.
Well, maybe let's say for Steve Kukla it wasn't. Let's say he loved the bodybuilding and he was making a good career of it, but his true passion was actually be the best paramedic he could be.
But that's why I said
a bodybuilder now, even though he's a competitive pro bodybuilder.
No, then he's a guy who loves bodybuilding, but he's a paramedic.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The context,
ridiculous.
The context of the sentence matters, though.
It does if it depends because you're posing it as a question of what is your job. That's not what we're asking.
That's what I said. It's the context of how you frame.
Yeah, but now you're framing it as a career, that it is a job in that sense, and now you're really limiting it. So we're not just talking about
use it in a sentence.
Well, what you're asking? Are you a bodybuilder?
Yeah. So you go up to a kid who just did my show this weekend.
Yeah.
And you say,
are you
a bodybuilder? And he says, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, no, because now
he takes part in the act of bodybuilding.
Not if he does physique.
That's a slippery slope. Because now we're getting into like we're getting into like some fucking transgender of like, are you a woman? Yes. Like I don't want to go down that road. So
look, I'm not taking away from anything from anybody. I tell the story all the time. I specifically remember a guy that used to come in at 5 a.m. when I would go and do my cardio for shows, and this guy would fully covered up, like jogging suit, would come in and kill it. He had meals with him. He didn't compete, didn't do powerlifting meets, didn't do shit, but he was there every fucking morning. That guy was a bodybuilder. But what I'm trying,
in that same sense, like what's that fucking freaky black guy that never competed? What's his name again?
Vic Richards.
Vic Richards, he competed.
Yeah, he never competed, so
he did.
He's still a bodybuilder.
He got his pro card. He never competed as a pro.
Oh, okay, sorry.
He actually trained at the gym that I trained when I was really young.
Like if you ask what's your profession, he wasn't a professional bodybuilder. He had a job and made money some other way. So in your sense, he would be like, well, I'm a doctor, let's say.
But this is what I'm saying.
Vic Richards not a bodybuilder,
But this is what I'm saying is I think the context of the way the question is asked matters. You can't just answer it blindly. You have to say, in what context are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you're right.
When I was competing as a bodybuilder, I would, especially at work and that, when people would say like, hey, so-and-so's a bodybuilder like you too, I'd be like, no.
See?
He's not a bodybuilder. I would not qualify that.
Not like me.
I'd be like, this is fucking work his ass off. I was like,
I got that once. I got that. It was after I did the Olympia too. And I went into the store and they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a professional bodybuilder. They're like, oh, I know so-and-so is a body. I'm like, that guy's done one fucking show. He's like,
I still hear this. I'll meet people at the airport or whatever. Be like, oh, you competed? Be like, yeah. I want to be like, oh, I got a friend that's a bodybuilder like you. Like,
yeah.
Like no,
just like you, just like me, yeah,
just like me.
Well, I think, and that's what I
or
mean.
It's even funny when they're like, "I got a friend that's big like you." I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
no, you don't.
Right.
You don't.
Everyone had a cousin.
You literally don't. I would know who they are. You actually don't."
Look, it's. I think all of it is part of like if you look at Sam. Sam doesn't compete. Yeah. Sam lives the bodybuilding lifestyle through and through. Meals, the training, the fucking everything. Right?
Yeah.
Is he a bodybuilder?
By your original definition, saying if you ask him what do you do, he would answer he's not a bodybuilder. He's in school to be an engineer. I'm a student. So
that's
you would
that's what he would say. But that's what he would say.
But by your definition, then he's not a bodybuilder.
No, that's not what I said. I said
here's what you said.
No, it's not, because like I said, the guy that came in at 5 a.m. never competed. I consider that guy a bodybuilder. I'm just saying.
What you said before.
Yeah, it is, because I'm saying it's the way you answer the question.
Sure.
If the question is posed as what's your career, then that's tricky. If your question is posed as like what's your passion, then you could say I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah, because if you ask career, you're limiting it to only pro bodybuilders that are making enough of a living to it. You're talking about 30 to 40 people on the entire planet, Yeah. So you're really limiting your thing by that context if you're doing it like that. So yeah, I mean the context of the question does matter. You're right. Yeah.
Do you guys consider men's physique competitors bodybuilders?
No.
Good.
I mean, technically,
only because it's not the class.
Yes, only because we're bodybuilders. We're real bodybuilders, so we don't consider that.
Yeah, because I'll hear that by some people. Like my friend bodybuilds, and I'll be like, I know them. They do men's physique. It's not bodybuilding.
I mean, I don't even consider.
Yeah, but see, again, this is context. Now you're talking about it
for sure.
Now you're talking about it in terms of the class.
Yeah, I know. If you go by the definition,
men's physique is not bodybuilding.
Right.
But that's because you're using the definition of the sport. But the definition in real life is they are bodybuilders.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Context.
But to a bodybuilder, you're like, no, they're not a bodybuilder.
That's why this question That's why this question never gets answered properly, because there's a million different meanings to the fucking word, depending on what was put before it.
Yeah. It's become a term as opposed to like a profession, kind of.
Thoughts on Milos revealing that Nasser used to use 500 milligrams of Anadrol, and Jay admitting that he used to go as high as 200 milligrams. How common is this at the highest level of bodybuilding? I've never heard of anybody taking 500 milligrams.
I have a problem when people ask these questions to me, because I get on Q&A and be like, how common do you think it is guys using this? I'm like, bro, I don't know every fucking pro bodybuilder's goddamn cycles. I literally know none of them. I have no idea how much drug fucking Nick Walker uses.
Why would you?
Or anybody. Like, I don't know anyone. Blessing, like, fucking Hunter. Like, I don't know any of their cycles. I have no goddamn clue, and they don't know mine either. So it's like, how can I say, like, how much Anadrol? It's like, I don't fucking know. Maybe they're all using 200 milligrams.
This is something.
How can you ask if it's common if one guy did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's not common.
You know what's
It's
funny?
also-
about
One guy said it. Does everyone do it?
It's also, how do I know if it's common? I don't do it, so I can only speak to me. I don't know what every single other fucking bodybuilder does. How the fuck would I know? You know?
Right. What do they picture? Like conversations are like, hey, Ian.
Yeah, hey, like,
you
look,
taking
do
today?
we have those conversations amongst us as a close circle of friends? Sure, but do I sit there backstage at the Arnold Classic talking about my doses? Obviously not, you know?
No,
Right,
but this is my exact point. We were just all together for an entire weekend.
Yeah.
Not once did we talk about steroids.
No, not
I
once.
wasn't like Ian, what are you doing? We like,
Yeah, you're looking good. What are you on?
but also
How much training running right now?
You're looking good, bro.
but also to this is the only way I know how to answer the question. Anybody I've talked to about steroids, when I have in the 30 years I've been bodybuilding, the most I've ever heard is 200 milligrams.
Yes.
Okay?
Vanadrol?
I'm not going to name who it was. It was a very popular pro, but I remember thinking at my time at the time, that's a lot, because the most I had heard before that was 3 a day, which is 150.
Yeah.
I remember 100 being somewhat common, but most guys I knew were like 50 is enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure 100 was more common than I knew.
Yeah.
But like, I don't
I think I would die if I did that.
But, okay, we can
I'd definitely be in jail.
we can unequivocally answer. We can unequivocally answer the question that 500 is absolutely not common, and nobody is doing that. I don't think if there is pros doing it, there's very, very few. And that's not even with me knowing anybody's cycles. That's just me definitely assuming, but I could definitely
common
guess
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Common sense is telling me that not many guys are doing that. Yeah.
All right, let's move on, because I think we answered that.
Yeah.
How good, in your opinion, was Roman this weekend at the Big Man Show for being more or less front row? I have to say he was right on the money. I also saw him in Portugal Pro. Glad to see him punch his ticket for the O. We all thought he was awesome.
Feel great.
How does it feel knowing the podcast and all of you that are involved in it have inspired thousands of people, and in some cases changed their lives forever? Are you able to take a moment and absorb all of it in, or is it more like your bodybuilding career where when you're in it, it's hard to see the results and impact you've had?
We don't give a flying fuck. We're doing this all for the money. Fuck all of you.
Yeah.
Money, you guys
Got
get
the
paid.
check, baby.
You
We're
guys
doing,
get
this,
paid.
we're doing this for the Manscaped ad revenue. You can all get fucked.
My check's late, by the way, Fouad. So
I get my lawn taken care of. You guys get paid.
I can listen, just to answer honestly for a second.
Let's have a cheers. Yeah.
I can honestly say I intended for this not to be like my bodybuilding career, but it definitely is. I think it's hard to fucking, I don't know how to say it. I think I think you would be douchey if you sat around and thought to yourself, I'm helping millions of people, man. I know. Like I would feel
thank
really
God we're on here tonight, guys.
Lives. It wasn't for us.
You guys be without us.
Changing lives out here.
Yeah. So the flip side of that is when we do expos or go somewhere and we meet someone and they're like, man, you changed my life. Or I get a message from someone and they're like, I was an alcoholic and now I'm fucking bodybuilding because you guys, that shit feels really good. But I don't sit around and go, yeah, we're helping people. Cause I just feel like that's
what I say when I tell people I'm going to do the podcast. I don't say I'm doing the podcast. I'm going to change some lives.
I mean,
What do you mean? You'll see.
I mean,
Doing God's work out here.
I think when we hear it, it feels good. Like I've gotten messages before that are pretty long about, the podcast helping in some way. And I've shared them with the guys. I've been like, guys, check this out.
I'm sure we've all got them. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've all gotten them. Yeah. So, I mean, it's fucking awesome. But I don't think any of us sit around and think like that. Cause we're just not that kind of people.
We're way too humble, bro.
With the changes Hunter has made, where do you see him placing in the Olympia? Like I said earlier, I think if he's
better than last year.
top 5, I would say.
Yeah, he was what, 6th last year, 7th last year,
7th last year. Yeah.
So I think he'll be better than 7th or better. Yeah.
Yeah. Opinions on the new classic weight caps. We covered that. Who will be even more impressive now that their new weight? We already checked that. Understanding that the American market for Hostile is better for business, do you intend on making orders for Canadians slightly more accessible? Like the prices in Canadian, maybe a small warehouse. We're going to move to Canada when we can. I don't want to make this about Hostile just for a second. I think people don't understand that it costs a lot of money to open a new region. It's kind of like if you had a franchise and you don't really start, if you have a store and you want to franchise it, you don't start franchising before the main store is as big as you want it to be. So our focus is America because that's the market that we're trying to capture at its best. And once that's captured to a degree that I'm happy with, we'll start to move on to other areas.
Also the biggest fucking market.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, yeah. Well, yeah.
You got to
And
prioritize.
And for people who are like, oh, you're from Canada, why did you launch there? Look, the supplement market is a very saturated market. And to give us the best chance of success, we had to start in a market that was big enough where we could capture as many sales as possible. And my biggest fan base is in the US.
Yeah, makes sense.
If the Olympia wasn't at either Vegas or Orlando, where else would you bet it ended up at?
Arizona would be cool.
Arizona, yeah.
Vegas, Orlando. Wouldn't California be cool?
Yeah.
Fuck California.
Yeah, fuck California.
Yeah, nowadays. Yeah.
I mean, it could be in Texas. I mean, it would be cool in Texas. Have it like Dallas or something.
Yeah.
Or Detroit.
Cool.
No, don't have it in Detroit. How do you guys think Justin will do at the Olympia? I see him. I don't know if I see him in the top 15 unless he's made improvements from the Chicago.
I would agree.
Is nobody else?
I think he will be one day a top 10 guy, but I don't think.
Yeah.
But right now, somewhere in the 12 to 15.
I think the Olympia is extremely competitive right now. I think.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely on the track to be a top guy. A top 10 guy, like Paul said. Do I think that's this year? Not yet. Do I think there's guys he can beat in the lineup? Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he'll be in the last call out, but I don't think he's going to be in the first 2 call outs.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Somewhere.
I need to clarify. There's by no stretch did I mean he'll never be a top guy. I definitely think
we didn't. Nobody assumed that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that's clear because for sure I'm going to get a bunch of comments. Oh, Fouad thinks I don't listen. I signed the guy because I think he's going to be fucking great. So that hasn't changed. I still think he's going to be great. I still think he needs to pack on more size in certain areas before he can.
I mean, it's his rookie year, man. Like people have set these crazy expectations for these people. Like, I remember when I first turned pro, and I remember even when I turned pro and I was doing Orlando, and I had some people touting me to win that show. Like back then, that was like outrageous, and I remember it fucking fired you up too. And Tony Cyril, remember you were like, "What the fuck? This fucking,"
I was furious.
You were furious. They were like getting on online fights and shit. But like it was like that's how it was back then. Like the idea of someone coming in winning a pro debut was like, it's like you got to come and earn your stripes. It wasn't really like a thing that people talked about. And look, if you were that good, you're going to be catapulted to the top. But it wasn't like, oh yeah, every good bodybuilder coming in should be winning their pro debut and going right to the Olympian, placing top 10. It's like now these conversations, it's like a guy wins his pro debut, which is amazing. It's like, well, now what's the next thing? Should be top 5 at the Olympia. It's like, slow your roll a bit. Like let these guys have progression in their career and take the time. You're putting such crazy expectations on everybody,
Yeah.
I think part of that comes from Nick being the most popular bodybuilder on earth.
Yeah, Nick is definitely
because Nick walked in and took his first Olympia, was he 5th?
Yeah, top 5.
I remember he won the fucking Arnold right off the hop. You fucking
no, but I mean at the first Olympia, I think Hunter was 4th and he was 5th at his first Olympia, right?
You're right, 4th or 5th.
So he walked into his first year. Like let's exclude the Chicago Pro. His first year wins New York, wins the Arnold, top 5 at the Olympia. So now people are like, "Whoa, it's possible." Like, no, Nick was a fucking freak. It's not really that possible. It's
like, and the last guy to do that before Nick was probably Phil.
Yeah,
Phil.
Not even Phil.
Phil was 4th at his first Arnold, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't. There's not many people who could
No.
do what Nick did.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not. But I think because he's so popular, and a lot of the new fans are
It's
kind of
just
new.
crazy. Like
Are
the
kind of new to
scale-
bodybuilding because of Nick, so they
Mhm.
think that that's somewhat normal,
Mhm.
and it's not normal.
No.
So
No, and it's just people scale, like looking from the outside in of what success is in all sports, not just in bodybuilding. But it's like they'll talk about a bodybuilder and he'll be like second in a pro show or 14th at the Olympia, and they'll be like, this guy sucks. It's like,
yeah,
he's the 14th best at something in the fucking planet. Like, how can you say, yeah, is he the best? No. Is he one of the best? Yes.
Right.
So like these guys, their expectation came second at pro show. Yeah, he fucking sucks. This guy should retire. He should quit. He should. It's like, I'm trying not to take this personally because I've had these. I don't. I just
We'll
mean
take
it as
this
like a statement generally with anyone competing. Like, you see it with
anyone
guys
in
all the time
sports.
that are like with all sports. Yeah, with anything, a guy will lose
Yeah.
Like think
an A fight and they'll fucking discard him, or it's like,
You're only
it's-
as good as
think
your
about
last.
Think about Jake Paul.
yeah,
Jake Paul wasn't even. He's not even a fucking like legitimate pro boxer. Goes and starts beating people up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some people are like, oh, it's fucking. It must be that easy to just do it in everything. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right,
Yeah.
That's
I actually watched the documentary on that kid today. I like him a lot more than I ever did.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good
I don't know much
documentary. It's
about
on
Where-
Netflix.
what
Oh,
on
check it out.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's like I think it's like the series Untold, or you'll see it. It's on there.
Okay.
Best and worst thing about being a business owner. Also, I was a bartender in the States and worked for a Canadian-based pizza place called Boston's. Have you ever been? Yes, I've been to Boston Pizza. Mike, best and worst thing about being a business owner.
I don't know.
You didn't expect me to fire that at you, did you?
Oh, I'm not a business owner.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Let
you
me think
are.
of something here. Employees are my issue. This fucking one's lazy right here. You're fucking lazy, no good for nothing.
Pay to do nothing.
What I'm paying you for? Jesus.
Nothing, Mike.
No, I mean,
You're part of
I think-
two businesses or three.
yeah, I think it's just in my case, and you guys can probably identify with that too. I just don't like I move a lot faster mentally than the people I surround myself with sometimes, and that's a blessing and a curse in the sense that like I get very impatient because my mind and my ideas are like they never stop flowing. Anyone who knows me knows that. Like I'm sending people ideas at like fucking 11:30, or I don't have a concept of time too sometimes, so I'll just pop in an idea like when I wake up in the middle of the night and expect to receive an answer right away. Or like if I don't see something moving as smoothly as I think it should move, it's like I get a little fucking frazzled because I just don't see why it can't be just simple.
You know
I'm
what?
sure you guys will
That's the. I was just like that when I started with HOSSTILE, and it was like the fucking steepest learning curve ever, having to go. Oh, I have to actually just shut the fuck up and wait.
Yeah. No, I'm learning that. I got good people around me.
Yeah. No, there's a lot.
I told them I'm the chaos, and they're like they're controlling that chaos because I'm just like this whirling.
You know what that's from, Mike? If in bodybuilding, whenever you wanted something, you could just make it happen. You're like, oh, I want to get shredded, or oh, I want to increase my bench, or oh, I want to put on weight, or like whatever the fuck.
It also
you could just make it.
Yeah,
happen
it also
yourself.
came from when I did security for who I did security for. In those types of environments when you're around people like that, there's no days off.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh, I can't do this right now. It's like, no, you're fucking doing it now. Like 4 a.m, you're getting a call. I want this done. It's like, get it done some fucking how. There's someone out there working to get what you just said done. And that's unrealistic because one, you're not at that level of success, and two, you don't have that people around you and that the ability to do that. But like for me to see that firsthand and like understand that is possible, it's like, why can't just shit be done?
Well,
like,
because that's actually a conversation I've had with Summer, because Summer came from Muscle Tech, and Muscle Tech was a fucking giant. Like we're talking about a corporation with teams of people doing things, making $100 million company, right? So she'd be like, "Well, it wasn't like that at Muscle Tech," and I'm like, "You have to reach a certain level of success before you can snap your fingers and make things happen."
Yeah.
When you're not a beast, when you're not a massive corporation.
I think hunger is the hard thing to have other people have the same amount of hunger as you do and the same amount of hustle as you do, and then when they don't, you're let down by it.
Well,
in the sense that like I'll push, like I came from that environment where I was in before, was like I was moving all the time. And even the people around the person I was working with, they were moving all the time. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not available right now, or I'm off with this, or I have to
Yeah,
use this.
but
Like, no, like this
it's
world
weekend.
revolved around that, right?
yeah, but think about what you're saying. The person you did bodyguarding for, or persons, were such
Yeah.
high profile people that they're like, oh, you don't want to hustle? Look, next,
Yeah.
bring the
Yeah.
next guy.
You're
So
And that's what I'm saying. The people underneath them were just as driven as that person because they
But
wanted to keep that spot, right?
Otherwise,
right.
you'd fall
So
off.
that-
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The level of success of your company dictates
Yeah.
the amount of force or demand, I guess, you can make.
Yeah.
So I think that's anyway. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but that's no one's
It's
ever
hard
going
to take the reins off things too, and to not try and control every little aspect. I find like I'm nowhere near like where you are with what you're doing. Like obviously you have people that handle like operations and handle this and handle that, right? It's like, and you just pass off the reins to those people and just kind of just trust that it's going to go as hard because it's like, what the fuck's going on over here? Like,
Yeah, but I've
I
had
just heard this from something that this is happening and like, why the fuck is it happening? And then you're like, we got it controlled. It's cool, man. Like blah blah. You're like, well, it's like,
yeah, I was like that, but now I've realized because you have to have patience, it's
Mhm.
better to have those people do those things because they may be able to deal with the thing better than you can if you have no patience. So I can
oh, of course,
I can take my frustrations out on that person and then they can get the job done properly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's important to have that like buffer around.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is no one's ever going to give a shit about your business as much as you do.
Oh, never.
No one's going to care because if this is the thing people don't understand, if the company goes under tomorrow, nobody gives a fuck. Everybody who's working goes and gets another job, and the owner is left with the shit to clean up or to find a new gig, right?
Well, yeah, the owner's the one assuming all the risk.
Yeah.
Right. They're the ones left with nothing to do. Oh, now I got to find a new job. Now I got to find a new company.
It's your investment. It's your baby. It's your risk, right?
So I think that was one of the things that's hardest for me to learn also is that like no one cares as much as you do. No one's going to put the same amount of effort. So there's a few things anyway. Best and worst. Best thing is building something cool for sure because you get to build your own like vision. Worst is half the shit Mike just said. Learning patience, learning how to deal with people, learning to let people go at their own speed. We already touched that. Do you think Sam has the potential to be on the Olympia stage someday? We just talked about this. You can't.
He hasn't even competed yet. Like ever.
Just
This
say
is
yes.
exactly what we were talking about. You can't. I don't fucking know, man. Let's see him in trunks on the stage one day, then we'll talk about it. We can't.
Yeah.
I mean, his work ethic could take him there, but who knows? When will Roman be on the podcast and his expectation for himself at the Olympia? Roman will probably be on the podcast sometime this week or next week. I don't know about his expectations. I haven't talked to him about that. What else? Lee Priest. Men and women have an extra hole. That's all it says.
Men and women.
He cracks me up.
Here, look, I'll show you.
Technically, you don't. We have holes too.
This is all it says.
Men, women have extra. Oh, men, women.
Oh, men, women. Men,
Oh,
women.
good. That is true.
Do you personally believe that an athlete should wait before going to nationals or should go even if they play second or third in a weak class at regional?
No,
How many
okay.
questions is this guy allowed? He said like 5 questions. It's one question, bro.
That question all just comes down to what your expectations or what you're looking to get out of it. If you're trying to turn pro, well, you're probably not going to turn pro, and then don't. I think take that time and allot it more usefully.
Oh, go back to that one.
I was just going to say, Mike. Mike,
Oh,
nice
I
ball.
did some
We
reading on
gotta
that.
start another. We gotta start another podcast. Where you
Mike,
want that.
I've gone down that rabbit hole.
Mike, do you believe there's something beyond the ice wall?
Well, you're acknowledging there is an ice wall, Fouad.
No, well, there is an ice wall. There
What?
is. There's Antarctica. It's a wall of
What?
ice.
Yeah, okay, sure.
There's glaciers. There's glaciers, right?
Yeah.
If you take a boat to it, there's a wall of ice.
It's a continent, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a wall. Sorry, it's not just a wall. Nothing.
He just reach his wall. Like
it's an entire continent. Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's a continent. Okay, but Mike, do you think there's anything weird going on there?
Oh yeah.
That's it.
I don't think I know.
You know why? How do you know?
I have a very strong feeling.
Do you have any evidence you wanted to tell us about?
Not that I want to say on here.
Come on, give me something. Give me something.
No. There is.
Well, okay. Tell me what you think is there a wall and then like more land behind it that the elites are keeping from us, or like what do you think?
I don't know. I think people should go investigate for themselves.
Yeah, where should
Mike,
I go,
you
Mike?
suck, man. You can't just say that shit. You got to.
I don't want your podcast getting taken off YouTube.
Send me a message, Mike, what to look for. I've been going down YouTube holes with it.
Get Paul down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on why we don't teach kids to make and manage money in schools? Fuck, that's a big one.
Good question.
They want you to get in
There's
debt.
no logical answer.
They want to keep people broke and dependent on a system that doesn't work.
They want to get you in debt for the rest of your life.
Especially in Canada, yeah.
Very much. You don't know any better, you can't not fall in the trap, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather have to wear workout gloves or Birkenstocks for the rest of your life while training?
Birkenstocks.
Why are people training in sandals?
You
would wear Birkenstocks, Mike?
Fuck! I hate those fucking shoes.
I'm going to show up.
I think they're the ugliest fucking ugliest.
They're supposed to be good for your feet, though, aren't they?
They're supposed to be comfortable as hell.
Someone asked me this in my story, and I fucking said that it's a no-go. But apparently, this is a thing that Jordan Peters does like regularly.
The sandals, that's
Flip
right.
flops.
Yeah.
And Birkenstocks specifically.
Oh, are
Really?
they?
He messaged me after. He's like, I feel called out here. I'm like, nah. Right now, like that's not exactly what he said, but he said
he trains legs in his flip flops and everything too, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's like a flip flops, Crocs, fucking Birkenstocks, barefoot guy, you know? Like,
yeah.
He's not wearing shoes, just like he can kick off easily and fucking feels comfortable.
I know the shoe is literally no protection, but that would fucking terrify me for some reason.
What?
Barefoot?
Training barefoot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I legs or deadlifts, I only ever trained barefoot. My entire leg day, I'm barefoot.
I just feel like I'm always kicking dumbbells or using my foot to grab a dumbbell or something. If I was barefoot, I'd be like, I'd have broken toes or something.
Yeah, like I certainly wouldn't train chest with no shoes on. That would be fucking weird.
Dropping dumbbells, yeah.
Dropping dumbbells or like stuff, I wouldn't do that. But like for certain things where I like to feel the ground better, like for like squatting movements or like deadlifts, I always do the barefoot. Yeah.
Okay, we should cover this since actually I forgot to cover it. I apologize, Mike and Ian. Ian, now that you have trained with Mike and seen his style, how's it made you think about your own training? Do you see it or approach any different? Do you see your approach any differently?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a different style than I trained before. And I think that the biggest thing is just the positions he puts you in. It's like, it made me really realize like, man, there's a lot of better, more optimal, not even more optimal, but like better positions to really fire the muscle that I want, that I'm training. Like, you know, he put me in certain positions, which like to me wouldn't be immediately obvious. But then when you're put in them and like, you're like, holy fuck, I feel that muscle 10 times better than I've ever felt it before. Like, especially for back training. Like, I mean, we were putting in certain positions where I was like, you know, really forcing my chest up and like, you know, turning my head to a different direction, stuff like that. Whereas to me, and like when I'd be like, I might be trying to do the complete opposite of that, like tuck my chin and like, you know, keep my chest down, like really other things. But then when I did it his way, and he was really cueing you through the movements, like my back was more fucking top to bottom, every muscle in ways that I hadn't felt in my entire life, to be honest, you know?
Well, I remember
like my back, like literally from my traps to like mid back to fucking rhomboids to lats to erectors, like the whole 3 days, it was like completely fried, you know? And it was, and that was just from, it's not like it was even exercises that I hadn't done. I've done kneeling single arm pulls. I've done the rows that we've done. You know, I've done those pullover variations that we've done. I've done all of those. Yeah. But the difference is the positions he puts you in that really make you like, holy fuck, like I could definitely have been, you know, not just conforming to what I heard was the best position to put myself in. Like, oh, science says, do this, put yourself here. But it's like, it's not always that in application when you're firing a muscle like that. And I really, when you put those positions, you're really like, holy fuck, I felt them completely differently than I thought I would, you know?
Dude, I was watching, first of all, when you were done back and shoulders, I haven't been around you in person training that much, so I don't know, but I've never fucking seen you that round and
my pump, like my shoulder pump was fucked. They were like basketball.
Your back was like this. Like
Yeah.
when you were, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
I mean, like even the shot we took, like my lower inner lat like that, like we literally pumped up muscle that if you look at my stage pictures isn't even there as a muscle. Like it's literally dead space there of my lat. And where we were done training, it was like pumped. I'm like, I don't even have a muscle there, you know? My physique, I didn't, but all of a sudden we pumped it up and it was fired up and I hadn't even seen it before, you know?
The one thing watching Mike, it's like you're fucking, I said this to you and you're here. It's like you're autistic.
Yeah.
It's like there's something going on in your head that you're seeing and nobody else is seeing. Because I was watching you, like Iain was on the cable row. So I'm looking at from a side angle, right? Like I'm looking like this and Ian's doing rows. And the whole time Mike is like pushing his elbow down.
Every like the whole set is like huge. Yeah.
I would watch and Mike would be pushing his head up or like fucking, it's just every joint was being like manipulated in some way to get more out.
Honestly, you know what I really liked? I didn't notice. I said it to Mike after the end. There was so much cueing and like so much engagement, like physical or verbal engagement from him that I literally have no idea how many reps I did in any set that I did.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't know if I was doing.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I asked you that. I'm like, do you know how many reps I was doing, or are you just watching based off of like how my mechanical like breakdown is? And he's just watching, like he's not counting either. But like that's the thing. Like I'm so tied to, and like most bodybuilders are like counting their reps in their head, and like, but you're being cued so much. Like I had sets where I swear I was probably doing 4 reps, but some I was doing like 15. Like, but I have no fucking idea, you know? It's like, but you didn't even think about it. I felt no natural instinct to count because I was so focused on engaging the muscle that he was trying to get me to engage in the exercise and focusing on his cues that he was giving. I was like so engaged in that I was just like focusing. It's like, you're trying to hit here. I was just focusing on every cue he's giving, just thinking about that so hard and not thinking about anything else, you know? You're really like engaged, you know?
Paul, he ruined all the work that I did with you.
I know everything. All my, I had so many bad habits. I don't look well.
All the great work I did with you to develop this physique. Mike came in and destroyed it all.
Mike was like, your imbalances everywhere.
How was training with Mike?
Great. Well, the one of the biggest things I took from it was like something I never even thought about before. Like I've always been forearm dominant, and it's because of my grip. Like Mike was showing me, like I over grip everything instead of you're telling me, Mike, like put your hand through the weight and then just close your fingers around. And when I started doing that with my back, I never felt my back like that before. I'm just so used to grabbing it a certain way, and it made my forearms do a lot of the work, which I never even realized. And I've been training for over 30 years.
And even he was treating me that with like the pressing movements, like whether it was like shoulder or like overhead pressing or chest pressing, just like the line I was pushing through, like through my palms. Like he's like, don't focus on like pushing it out like that, like through a straight line through it,
It's really interesting, Paul. You grip the weight too much. No one's ever said that to you.
No, I don't recall ever being told that before.
Don't recall ever being told that?
No, I don't recall ever being told that before.
Fucking Christ. I gotta find, you know what, Paul? Fuck you. Mike, can I tell you something? I swear on my, I'm sorry, Mom, but I swear on my mom. I told him this like a week or 2 before you came in, because we were doing T-bar rows, and he was like, I can't, and I'm like, your hand is just a hook. Stop grabbing. I literally said that, and now he's like, Mike told me something I never heard before.
For some reason, Mike had this way of just connecting with me that I really got it.
Okay, but 1 second. I will say this for sure. So I did tell you that, but I will say this for sure. Mike has a way of speaking when he gives the cues that is easier to digest for everybody.
Yes.
Even when you're talking on the podcast, Mike, about just the different language you use, it's easier to picture than when the average person talks about it. I can. So you had a good training session with him, Paul.
Incredible. My back was fried, and I was telling Iain the next day, I was like, Mike's a big man, and I have a lot of bad habits in training. So Mike was moving me. You said he's very.
We were also 5 grams of mushrooms deep.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, Iain, I felt like a baby in Mike's hands. It's
like a baby in his arms.
It's like I thought he was gonna be like,
it's got me on the head.
Yeah,
it'll be okay.
Well, I didn't get a chance to train with Mike, unfortunately, but I wanted to give my time to Iain, because Mike, just for anybody watching, Mike is so specific. I'm talking about him like he's not here. Mike is so specific that he didn't want to train any of us together. He wanted to work with everybody individually.
But honestly, Paul, after you did that training session, you could see how it would be hard to do multiple people.
I could tell too from watching.
It would be so much curve. for sure.
Mike is so focused on your body
And it's like the pace is quick and it's like so engaged. It would be very hard to do with two people. Yeah.
So I wanted Paul to go because Paul's like so interested in like learning all these new things all the time, and I obviously wanted Iain to go because Ian's fucking doing the Olympia and he need like the more help he can get, the better.
Yeah,
because he's actually still competing. So I figured I'll catch the next one.
I'm still a bodybuilder, unlike you.
I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. Well, according to Paul's definition, I'm not a bodybuilder.
I'm the only bodybuilder on this fucking podcast. This is a bodybuilding podcast. I'm the only bodybuilder on it.
Well, you were injured too, though.
There's a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Paul?
You were injured too, though. You had your hamstring was torn. You were still you're still pretty fresh from the injury.
Oh, you mean with Mike?
Yeah.
No, I would have trained back or something with him. I just didn't want. I didn't want to. I know you were more interested in like, because you're crazy like that. You're just such a super fan. I was like, I want Mike to train with him, to train with Paul, and then Ian's fucking still competing. So I figured it was more important than me doing my shit.
Yeah, I appreciate that. For it.
Yeah, obviously, I'm the most selfless person here. So
you are obviously.
Okay, last one. We've been on for a while. Do you know? Out of all the members, who would you most rather raise a child with?
Like another podcast member?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to pick Paul because he's the only one that actually has experience raising children.
I'm a good dad too. It's a good pick.
Oh, Ben. I'm talking about just this.
Oh yeah.
I think Paul, because Ben would be too busy working and I would have to do all the raising.
I'll do all the fun stuff with the kids, Fouad. You just
I'll be the disciplinarian. I'll be the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Is it gay to use the middle urinal if both of the outside ones are taken?
No.
No, you have to. No,
if both the others are taken.
See, that question would make more sense if you said if all the urinals are open, is it gay to go to the one next to the guy?
Okay, but wait, look, I look at this two ways. If there was the stall right next to it and the door was like wide open, I could see it was empty, I would probably just naturally walk to it instead of going in the middle one. But like if it was like the door was closed and I like didn't want to go over and look, like take that extra 2 seconds, I'd just stay in the middle one. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think if there's only 3, then how are you gay?
Are we talking about stalls or urinals?
Urinals.
What's your favorite cologne? Mine's Gucci.
Creed Aventus.
Yeah, I have that Creed Aventus, and I have fuck, what's the other one I have? The 1 million, whatever it's called.
Oh, this is a great question. I saw this one last week, and I was like, I can't wait to ask it. I'm glad I found it. How does a blind person pick up the seeing eye dog shit?
Sorry. How does a blind person pick up their?
He gets a pass.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He just leaves the dog shit on the yard?
Yeah. What's he gonna do?
No, he's got to pick up the shit.
How's he know where it's at? He's got to put his hand in it. He's not gonna.
That's the whole point of the question. How the fuck do you pick up the dog shit if you have a seeing eye dog?
How does a blind?
Maybe the dog leads his hand to it.
Maybe you got to train the dog. Yeah, maybe you got to train the dog to lead you to it.
Okay.
You can't go by smell.
Quiz Paul on the capitals in Europe.
Pardon? What was that?
It's a quiz Paul on the capitals in Europe.
I'll nail that. Let's go.
Okay, fine. What's the capital?
I'll nail that.
Capital of Sweden. Capital of Sweden.
Stockholm.
1 second. Let me check.
I have the answer.
What's the answer, Ian?
They use their
Or Helsinki. Told you.
You just stick with a bag on it?
No, they use their stick to feel the back end of the dog, like when it stops, and feel if it's in a pooping position or a peeing position. And if it's in a pooping position, they know where the dog's body and butt is, and then they reach in that location.
Oh.
So they have to pick up every shit as it's coming out.
What? No, they know where. Your dog stops. Your dog stops, and you feel the back of it, and you're like, "Oh, it's right over there," and it's got its left arch doing a poop. So then you wait until it's done pooping, and then you go pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to wait at every shit.
They don't get it all.
We all wait at every shit.
No, you don't.
What do you do?
Your dog doesn't shit, and you come back 10 minutes later and pick it up.
Yeah,
I do. What do you mean? My dog takes a shit like a few times, and then I go clean the yard.
Oh, we're talking about.
If you're taking for a walk.
We're talking about on a walk.
Oh,
Oh no, I don't even pick up my dog shit in my backyard. I have a company that does that.
Now wait a minute. How do they know they got it all?
They don't.
What?
You wouldn't know if you got it all or not if you're a blind person.
Well, you would feel the log or the mass. And
What
you
if
would
it was
just-
mushy and diarrhea? You wouldn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you wouldn't know. You might make
What-
some mistakes.
What if it sprayed a little bit?
But this gets onto the same question then. How does a blind person know that they're done wiping their own ass?
You smell it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that
On the
it?
paper.
yeah.
Well, like maybe
They have
maybe
to smell the
their ass is
toilet
clean,
paper.
but maybe you're still getting a little smell.
Is this-
Smell the toilet paper.
Is this politically correct? Like, we shouldn't be talking about this, should we?
Hey,
We should
there's-
have a blind person on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Only
Yeah.
blind people can talk about it.
Is there any blind bodybuilders?
I don't know. Doesn't have to be a bodybuilder. You can just get a
No, I
blind
guess
person.
not. No,
Just
yeah.
ask
There's a
them
blind
what
bodybuilder. I saw a documentary on him, I think. What's his name?
By the way, Paul, you were right. It is Stockholm.
Yeah.
Okay. Capital of Norway.
Norway is
Don't answer for him.
They just go by feel. The answer is they just go by feel.
Paul, you got
Let's
one
go by
right.
feel, Paul.
You got one right, dude.
I know Norway.
No, you don't. You have 10
I
seconds.
bet you. You want me to give you a hint?
No,
Yes, please.
What's the question? What's the question?
Starts with an O.
Don't
Starts with
answer.
an O.
Oslo. Oslo.
It doesn't count. He told
Hey,
you.
I just need a little spark.
Fuck you.
I
Fuck you.
just need a little.
That doesn't count.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it counts.
It's one. You're 1-1. You're
Was the
1-1.
question what's the capital of Norway?
Yes.
Yeah. Oslo.
Capital of Denmark.
Denmark. Fuck. You guys always pick these obscure countries.
They're not obscure.
Denmark.
Because every country is obscure. He said like who had said like Brazil last time.
What are you talking about? Where
I
is
picked
the-
Ecuador. Fucking Ecuador. No one knows anything about Ecuador.
UK. Where is that even? I've never even heard of
Countries with a bigger population than Canada. Yeah.
Capital of
Yeah.
Denmark. Capital of Denmark, Paul.
Yeah, you might have me stumped on that one.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I know it.
Do
It's
you?
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Ah, I should have known that.
Okay, you're 1 and 2. Capital of Poland.
I know.
Poland?
Yeah.
I know this one too.
No, you don't.
Yeah, honestly.
You got 10 seconds.
Fuck. You put me on pressure here.
Well, that's the
Um,
whole point. 8, 7.
Fuck.
6.
I can't even think of a
5.
Polish city right now.
War.
Warsaw.
Oh, Warsaw.
All right, 1 and 3. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. All right. Capital of Brazil.
Brazil is Rio de Janeiro. Is it Rio de Janeiro?
Is that your answer?
Rio, yeah.
Pitfall.
Wrong.
Fuck. What is
Sao
it?
Paulo? Is it Sao Paulo?
Brasilia.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
know that.
really?
You're 1 and 5 now.
Okay. Everyone got that one wrong though.
Well, picking obscure countries, Fouad.
Yeah. Some like G7 countries at least.
Capital. Okay, I'll give you an easy one. Capital of Japan.
Japan.
You gotta know this.
I'm blanking out right now. Fuck.
10,
Well,
9, 8.
Tokyo.
Okay, going. 2 and 5. 2 and 5. All right,
God, if we didn't get that, we'd be fucking in for it.
Yeah, yeah.
we'll do 10.
Okay.
Capital of India.
India. Delhi.
No,
New Delhi. Isn't it?
that's a half a point.
It's
New Delhi.
Mumbai,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, come on. You got to give me that.
Okay, 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Let's see if you can hit 500.
Yeah.
Okay. Capital of Slovakia.
Come on. Slovakia.
Okay, wait.
Where even is that, man?
That's like they're a new country. They've only been around.
Been around for like 30 years. I don't even know.
Come on, Paul. 3 and 5.
What's
Let's go.
the capital? Do you know the capital of Australia?
Australia, Sydney.
No.
Not Brisbane.
That's your 3 and 6 now.
Is it Brisbane?
No,
Fuck.
What is it, Ian?
I can't remember, but it's neither of those. Google it.
No.
Isn't it Queensland or something?
Something like that. Yeah,
Canberra.
Canberra. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, like you knew that, Paul.
Ah, good
Oh,
old
yeah.
right there.
Oh, yeah,
It's right
Canberra.
there.
I just knew what it wasn't, and everybody always says Sydney.
I've never even heard
Yeah.
of Canberra. Paul's like, oh yeah, Canberra. I know that.
I've heard of it.
You have not.
Is there no 8?
Okay, you're 3 and 6. You're 3 and 6. You got
Oh, I
one
didn't do
more.
well tonight at all.
You got
Okay.
one more. Capital of
We
Slovakia.
got to move away from Europe.
Capital of
Sorry.
Slovakia. Capital of Slovakia.
I don't know Slovakia, man. I don't know Slovakia. I don't know shit about Slovakia.
Bratislava.
See, no one would have got that. Oh, you're
Oh,
done.
no.
You're,
Dead now.
Wait.
You really have to go. You're dead.
Fouad's exhausted.
1 second. Hey, he's back. Okay.
Oh, the different camera angle.
All right. 3-7, brother. That sucks.
Yeah, but come on, Slovakia, you got to give me something
No,
better than that.
what's the capital of Mexico then?
Mexico City.
I think he's right.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
Mexico City.
Uh-huh.
That's too easy, though, man.
Well, I'm trying to give him ones he might know. You know.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ian.
Capital of Iceland.
Iceland. Fuck. I don't know.
Oh, you're never gonna get this.
Iceland.
I can't even pronounce it.
Really?
Does it start with an R? Reykjavik.
Reykjavik. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
Reykjavik.
been there.
I did
Really?
know that.
What were you doing
I
there?
stopped in that airport.
Oh yeah.
He's been everywhere. He's fucking
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, your former job. Yeah.
All right, guys. It's been a good
Yeah.
weekend. Been a good one.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk soon. Love you. We'll get together next week.
See ya.
Okay. See you guys.
Yeah.
Take it easy.